protect himself. And now Omega, the challenger, has an opportunity to do something no one in AEW has done.
Finish him off! He's calling for it! This is it! This is it! Your career's on the line here! Do it! Do it! This place will erupt when he picks him up! He's got him up! Oh, hell yeah! 1, 2, 3! Thank you! Thank you! We've got a new heavyweight champion! Climb the ladder, kid! Make yourself famous! I just had an out-of-body experience! What did we just see? What did we just see?
He got him in a power slam! He got him in a power slam! He got it! Simmons got it! Simmons has won the match! Simmons is a champion!
I've always maintained that reality is for people who can't face drugs.
Shit is about to get real.
You get to see your knee. Knee. Shit.
Look at the stare of the champion against the challenger.
What?
And now, Straight Talk Society presents Wrestling with Reality.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
It's going to be the biggest battleground in the history of our sport. The biggest match in pro wrestling history. The two biggest superstars in our sport in the biggest event the sport has ever seen. The biggest match in the history of our sport. Trying to run a little scalded dog here. Enough is enough. That's enough. No! Oh, God, that's enough! Stop it! Bam! Listen, that's tougher than a $2 steak. Who is your daddy? Who's your daddy, Undertaker? Slam! Toe slam! Who's your daddy, Undertaker? Lucifer's lips on the biggest size in the WWE! Somebody stop this! Somebody stop the damn match! Enough's enough! What? The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
It's getting real! Woo!
WWE Dynamite.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time. Let's rock.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
So to escape from reality?
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I am reality.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Oh, it's live, pal.
Let the shredder begin!
It is now time for Wrestling with
Reality.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Junior, look at this.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
number one to be the man, baby. You have to beat the man. Heavyweight champion of the world. The time is now. Reality has become the present, and the final lesson of the pain game has begun. Have you ever heard a joke like that in your life? You are gonna wrestle my ass for the world title. You will have to kill me to keep I'm killing you! Woo!
The 90s have been referred to as the reckoning with truth. In the 80s, everything was clouded. Nobody ever told the truth. In the 90s, the way to go is flat out. Tell no lies. That's the way we're gonna do it. When you hear something from our lips, truth it may be, and as much as it may hurt, you can count on it being exactly the way that it is.
We want the gold, sucker! Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga!
Oh, that intro always just puts me in stitches. What is up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and I'm back with another episode of Wrestling with Reality. And this is episode 41 of the Wrestling with Reality show, as I wait for my co-host, Venkat and MD, to join us. I know Venkat is going to be a little late. Just waiting for MD to come on. Let me tell y'all something in full transparency. I thought that we were going to be able to just coast. Oh, I emailed you at MD, but I'll put it here now. I thought we were going to be able to just coast, but hold up. All right, there you go. Yeah, I thought we were going to be able to just coast through this show after the fantastic doubleheader that we did last week. We did the show with the Royal Rumble review, then we did the Vince McMahon show. So I just thought that we were going to be able to coast through this week's show before we do a reset on the show itself. And what do I mean by reset? Before I go any further than that, I want to welcome one of my co-hosts on here, MD. What's up, MD?
Peace. What's going on? What's happening? My bad. I forgot that you said you were going to send it to me an email. I was like, let me check. And yeah, it was there. So what's happening?
Nothing. I can't call it. I'm tired, man. Wore out. Oh, my goodness, man. We've been so busy.
Man. Hump day.
Huh?
I said hump day.
Yeah. And it's funny. Just as I go live, I get an email from YouTube telling me about Tape Fist Politics last night. I ain't even read it. All I did was saw the top, and it was saying your video can't be monetized. I didn't even read it because I don't turn on monetization for Tape Fist Politics anyway. So I don't know why they would be sending me that. So
hey, it's a weekly thing at this point, man.
Yeah, I gotta read it and see what it says. I mean, because not for nothing, I'm just getting ready to just be like, hey, just let the dogs loose and just let y'all have at it on Tape Fist Politics and just completely stop trying to be PC, because it is what it is at this point. But like I was saying, I was planning on just coasting through this show because the fantastic doubleheader that we did last week, the Vince McMahon stuff, and then we decided in the background that we were kind of gonna reset the show a little bit. So everybody knows when we originally started this show, when Venkat and myself came up with the idea to do this show, it was never meant to be like a weekly go through all the wrestling shows thing. We just kind of start doing that, but that's not what this meant to be, because you got other shows that do that, and they'll break down hole for hole, move for move, things like that. We don't do that. We more so we specialize more in a specific topic or a specific story that's going on, and then we break it down that way. So we're gonna go back more to that. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of going to start structuring the majority of the shows that way, starting this Monday on Man Talk Monday, whereas it won't be a bunch of different things. We'll focus more on one thing. Hopefully that could get the show shorter and, retain people's attention a little bit better. But that's where we're going to go with that. And like I say, Venkat will be joining us later. So we're not going to go over the weekly shows. Hell, I don't even have the ratings for this weekend. You guys know the ratings are my favorite my favorite part of the show, but I don't even have the ratings for this week because there is a lot of stuff that happened. Hell, I just saw a news story. I mean, there's another wrinkle to this Vince McMahon thing, but we'll get to that at the end. So what we're going to do at the beginning, we're going to go over what I thought was a tremendous NXT show from this past Sunday, which first of all, it shocked me that it was on Sunday because I'm looking for it Saturday night. Like, where's the show? Where's the show? I had to pull it up online and I was like, oh, it's coming on Sunday. That's weird. So what did you peace, Zay? What did you think of the show overall before we just get into it?
Oh, overall, it was a great show. And like I said, I think you mentioned something about it in the chat. I forgot he was even on. So
Yeah.
I ended up watching the replay, and yeah, it was a great show. Great show. One match was kind of mid to me, which was the 6-man tag. But other than that, all the rest of the matches were great.
And you know what's funny? Because normally NXT only does like 4 matches on their shows. So when I saw 6 on there, I'm like, man, I said, boy, this is gonna be a long show because they normally do 4 and it's 2.5 hours. So I'm like, man, they're gonna add an extra 2, so it's gonna be into that 3-4 hour mark. And when you looked on Peacock, they had it blocked out for 4 hours, but I think the show was probably a little bit over 3 hours, but it didn't seem, you know how the main roster, if it's 3 hours, you feel every second of those 3 hours.
Yeah.
This show just blew by, and I think we probably got the same thoughts because the only match to me that I was in and out of was the 6-man, and to me the 6-man still wasn't bad. It's just
it wasn't bad. Yeah, I mean
it wasn't.
It felt like an NXT match, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
and I think another thing, they didn't spend a lot of time on the on the matches in between. Like they just showed what they needed to show to give backstory, and they went straight to the next match.
No filler, and that's what I love. Hey, peace, Ricardo. And I love that it was in the bigger arena because people always say, oh, NXT, they got to get out of the CWC. But when they do these shows, they go into these bigger arenas and it looked packed. I mean, that arena may hold 5,000 people, but it was every bit of 5,000. They were loud and like they got a fantastic show, I think. So let's run through this card real quick. So, and I figured that this was going to open it. The opening contest saw Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin versus Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams for the Dusty Rhodes Classic finals in the tag team finals. Man, the first thing I thought about this match, who's the heel? I feel like Jim Ross now. Who's the heel and who's the babyface? Because I know Trick Williams, the fans love Trick, but my goodness, was the fans going crazy for Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. Like I actively saw them fist bump in the crowd, and I thought that was so weird. I'm like, aren't they the heels in this?
Yeah. The entrance was pretty good that they had, coming out on the choppers and everything. Again, this match was great.
But okay, you mentioned the entrance real quick. Didn't it look like Corbin was surprised that Breaker came out on his chopper?
Yeah, they mentioned that on commentary. I guess it was supposed to look like, Corbin didn't know like what was going on, you know what I mean? And so from the eye view, it looks like they pushing them as a face team. You know what I mean? It started off with them being rivals and and now it looks like they pushing them as a face team. Braun Breaker's supposed to be going to SmackDown or whichever one he chooses. I kind of hope that Baron Corbin stay in NXT because right now, like his character development and his revitalization of the Lone Wolf character, that need to stay in NXT.
Yes,
and he'll be a big time name. So I'm hoping he's staying in NXT. And I can see Baron Corbin being a face in NXT. I can see that.
I love how I love how they reintroducing them, like they're actually giving the Lone Wolf time now, and they kept mentioning on commentary. See, commentary is great when they do their job. They kept saying this is his third time trying to win this the Dusty Cup, and they just kept playing that. But I agree, man. I thought this match was great. Wait a minute. So what's that? Zabby Genius. Braun Breaker is the next big thing. Yeah, he's already arrived. He also says NXT with HBK is a blessing. Yeah, absolutely. Zay saying, I think I'm gonna go watch this now. Y'all sold me. Yeah, Zay, you won't be disappointed. This was a great show, and it's going to lead into the main event. So Trick Williams is pulling double duty here. That's why I knew that this was going to be the first. Who you thought before we saw before we know the outcome, who did you think was going to win this?
I thought Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, because I mean I kind of already seen the writing on the wall with how they was going with the angle with Carmelo, and
all right.
Because of how popular what do they call them now? The Wolf Dog. Because of how popular they are, and with Carmelo and Trick being in a separate storyline, I kind of seen the writing on the wall. But the competitiveness of the match was great. That back suplex into the cutter with Braun Breaker. I said, man, like Braun Breaker, the truth, man. He the truth, man.
What was so funny about this? Braun Breaker got to the top. He went to the top and did a dive out. I'm like, I'd never seen him do that. They literally worked the babyface angle. I'm like, wait a minute, was there a double turn somewhere here that I didn't see, or because I don't get to watch NXT weekly all the time? But I'm like, man, did something happen that I don't know about? Because last time I checked, Trick is a babyface. Like, what's going on? And man, but the match was just tremendous. And the story of the match, Carmelo Hayes ended up causing Trick's legs to get cut out from under him, which would tell the story in the main event. And then they kept working the legs. The finish comes where Braun Breaker is going for the spear on Trick. Carmelo pushes him out of the way, and he eats the spear for the 1, 2, 3, which again, storytelling. Like it literally just played into the whole story, because now you're like, look, I took the bullet for you. And he even told him, he was like, hey, because Trick asked him, he was like, wait, why did you do that? He was like, because you got your match later, I needed you to be in that match. Like, I didn't need you to be hurt, for the match. So, hey, fantastic story, man. I thought that match was great. Predictable as it may have been, because I know Venkat hates when things are predictable. Sometimes predictability is good, because that match was great, man. Baron Corbin just works great with smaller guys. And listen, Trick Williams, at first I used to say he wasn't really over. Trick Williams is over. Trick Williams might be the most over guy on the roster, period.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about both rosters.
Go watch the main event. You'll see how over he was.
Man, Trick Williams is when that first beat drop in his song, and then, man, hey, listen, that Joker is over, man. Okay, I'm gonna say this, because he was a former football player. He seems like a good dude, man. Like, he won't get in any trouble. He could be to them what Triple H wanted Velveteen Dream to be. He ain't gonna play that character, but Triple H was looking for a black star that he could push. Hey,
yeah.
Trick Williams is that dude, man. He is, my goodness. Yeah, this match, I thought this match was great, man. And the right team won. Corbin and Breaker did win, so now they're gonna challenge the fake Italian guys. I think they got it set for next week.
Yeah.
So let's go on. So hey, this one here was a low-key banger too, man.
It was.
So in a no disqualification match, you had Joe Gacy versus Donovan Dijak. So what the story of this match is, Dijak just keeps kicking this guy's ass, like just everywhere. And shout out, I did see that, Ricardo. Shout out to Patricia Moser for becoming a member of the Straight Talk Society. Listen, when I got people like Patricia joining the channel, then I know I'm doing something right. And that's all I can say about that. But he just was kicking this guy's ass all up and down the place, man. And Joe Gacy, you know, the whole dyad thing failed because the Grizzly Young Veterans didn't want to do it, and you know, but now he's see, well, okay, when you look at Joe Gacy, who do you think they're patterning him after? I want to see if me and you thinking the same person.
Bray Wyatt.
Oh, so you're thinking Bray Wyatt. See, I wasn't thinking Bray Wyatt. Yeah,
I can see him being that Bray Wyatt type. You know, because I mean the whole point of Schism was like these cult followers, and you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean I can see a little Bray Wyatt in him. You know, he got his own style. Don't get me wrong, but the overall character,
he's actually good.
Yeah, I'll say this. Like I said, I didn't know much about Joe Gacy, but after this match, I can see the appeal. The only thing that I would say, his style and what he really wants to do, because Joe Gacy, he gonna take a bump. I can see Joe Gacy like actually fitting more in an AEW because I know he'll take the color. You know what I mean? The type of match that he wants to have it's a GCW type match. I'm just, you know, a lot of people don't like that, but I can see Joe Gacy fitting more in an AEW than a WWE. But the character works. I like it. I like the match.
You know, so the go-to for everybody will be Mick Foley. Like, because you look at it, yeah, he leans more to Bray than he does Foley, but everybody's gonna just go to Mick Foley as the guy that he's just the clear ripoff of Mick Foley. But you know who I see him as every time I watch him? You know, you watch Lucha Underground, he reminds me of Marty the Moth.
Oh, Marty the Moth, yeah.
Like,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like I'm like, damn, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, who is this guy? Whose gimmick is this guy doing? Just the craziness. You could do whatever to him. It doesn't matter. He's just gonna come. He's gonna keep coming back at you, keep coming back at you. But I thought this match was great too, man. This was another one of those. Dijak for such a big guy is so friggin' smooth in the ring, so smooth in the ring. And it looks like he may be trying to line himself up against Ilya just based on the TV yesterday.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. So Dijak did get the win on this. I mean, so the way Dijak has been kicking this guy's ass all, you know, seemingly forever, I thought Gacy would have won. But Gacy is that character that don't really seem like he cares if he wins or not. It's just more of a psychological thing. Like, hey, you don't got me. I'm still here, basically, type thing. So, I thought the match was great though, man. Dijak is an awesome big dude.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And that's another guy that went back down in NXT, revitalized. You know, I don't like that they took his first name from him, but hey, it is what it is. I go with Dijak. You know, that's better than what he was on Raw. You know what I'm saying? So
what was he, T-Bar?
Yeah. So yeah. So hey, I'll go with it. Like I said, man, I can see Dijak being set up for a main event run too.
And remember when he first came in, they were calling him like Dijakovic. They just wouldn't they just wouldn't call him Dijak. I don't understand why they had to try to change everything. And by the way, Tony Khan is supposed to be making a big announcement tonight. I'm assuming this is going to be the Mercedes announcement. It better be, because if he announces like another tournament or another, if he trolls us and say, hey, All In next year is already sold out, you know, he could just go to hell. Like, he's
well, from what I heard, it already pretty much got leaked because the Boston Garden put out that AEW was coming to the Boston Garden.
Oh, okay.
But that's Boston and that's Mercedes Moné. So
Yeah.
that's
I
what I
got
heard.
I gotta ask y'all a question about that later though, because yeah, so all signs point to that. But I do gotta ask y'all a question. I want to ask it when Venkat comes on though, see what he says. Hey man, and by the way, before I go on, y'all make sure and check out that Tape Fist Politics show from last night. I listened to it later in my day. Yeah, man, that was a great
Yeah,
show,
great
man.
show. Yeah.
It was a lot of tap dancing last night, but that was a great show. That was a great show last night. So the next match is the 6-man. Not gonna lie, I don't know Scripps group's name. I think they were called like OTM or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was. All I said was, who is Jada Parker? That's all I said.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And they took on the family, Stacks, D'Angelo, and I don't even know who this other lady is. So again, this is my least favorite match on the card. Not that it was bad, it just wasn't as good as the other ones. So I don't really have too much for this. It was your run of the mill 6-man.
Jada Parker. That's all I
Yeah.
cared about in this match.
Yeah. Yeah, NXT. And man, they say NXT got the best talent, if you know what I mean. As I was watching last night, and I saw a team with Lash Legend. I know y'all say Lash Legend looks like a man, but her and the other girl she's with, what's her name? Jakara Jackson, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
she's
watch
stacked. She's stacked. Ain't no doubt about it. Last
yeah,
Legend
just
stacked.
Yeah, just watch NXT, man. NXT and Lash Legend just be wrecking chicks. Like she wreck chicks like Nia Jax does. And we're not gonna go over the weekly shows, but man, Nia Jax is being presented fantastic. I mean, the only person never to back down from Rhea. I mean, just beating up Rhea at every chance she gets. And now that's going to be the match at Elimination Chamber. Obviously, Rhea's going to beat her, but I love the fact that she's just bullying Rhea at every point, because now it's making Rhea is one thing, is like my thing with Bianca. Bianca could just beat up everybody, but now that Jade is there, now you got somebody that can match her in every intangible. So it's not like she could just plow through them. Now you got Rhea, who's been beating up everybody. Now you got Nia, that's like, not so fast. She calls out Nia. Nia comes out and beats the hell out of her.
Comes right out, yeah.
Yeah, just
And
beat the hell out of her.
I wouldn't be surprised if at Elimination Chamber, Rhea, like I said, yeah, we agree, Rhea is gonna win, but she may not win clean. I wouldn't be surprised.
To set up a triple threat for Mania.
I mean, they could, but even if they don't set up a triple threat, I don't think that Nia would eat a clean pin. You know what I mean? I believe it's going to be something, whether it be with Becky Lynch or somebody else. I don't know. But the way that they're presenting Nia Jax, I don't think, you can make an argument. Yeah, they're going to be in Australia. Of course, they're going to want to send the Australian fans home happy with Rhea, but that don't necessarily mean that it's going to be a clean win. Just to protect what they're doing with Nia right now. You know what I'm saying?
You think that's going to main event the show?
I mean, it should. It's Rhea Ripley in Australia.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would.
that might. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I think that might absolutely main event the show. Especially, man, Nia delivers that bonsai drop. Man, she ain't holding nothing back. I mean,
she's coming down.
She is literally just coming down on them splat. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, Nia. I love this version of Nia, man. This is NXT Nia. So the family won this match. They're gonna wrestle they're gonna wrestle Corbin and Breaker next week. So hopefully Corbin and Breaker win the titles. But who knows though, because like MD mentioned earlier, Breaker was on Monday Night Raw. He was on SmackDown Friday, presented a contract. Now they presented him a contract on Monday Night Raw. So who knows? He may not come up till after Mania though, because that's normally the way they do that. But
yeah.
So hey, listen, this was another one, man.
Fire.
Hey,
This might be. I of course, you know, the match of the night main event. This might be a close second. Close second.
Man, this was so good for the NXT Women's Championship match. Laya Valkyrie defending against Roxanne Perez. Listen, this match was great. Man, this new character, Roxanne Perez, is what she needed to get out of that bubblegum hey, I love everybody type character. She should have been this aggressive character.
Yeah.
These two women beat the holy hell out of each other. There was a rest spot in the middle of the match. All of a sudden, you hear some music playing. I don't know the music, but Lola Vice comes down. Hey, Lola Vice, that's all I gotta say. She remember she won the breakout tournament. She won the breakout tournament contract. So she comes in like, now, hey, I'm gonna cash this in right now. So she inserts herself in the match. It now becomes a triple threat match. And I thought that Lola was gonna slow it down, but she more than held her own. And there was some times in there I was like, man, they need to go ahead and put this belt on her. Like there was a couple times I'm like, oh yeah, they might as well just put the belt on her, man. And I would have zero problem.
When she hit that spinning back fist, I thought it was over.
Yeah.
I said, oh, it's over.
Yeah, she
laid her out with that one. I said, damn.
Yeah.
I thought it was over.
She is good, man. Like, because again, NXT women are just different. And that's all I'm gonna say. But they actually could go in the ring. Like when you watch them, you're like, oh, wow, these girls really got it in the ring. And this match, this would have been my match of the night had it not been for the main event. Because that main event, I may give out my first 5 this year. That main event was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
But this match was great, man. It was an interference that got
what's the girl's name? Paxley.
Yeah, she came in and messed everything
and ran
up.
Yeah, she hit
Roxanne.
Roxanne but like with a spear, or just tackled her out the ring, and that set up Lyra Valkyria to hit Lola Vice with that Night Wish. And that's how she won. Me personally, I will say I don't like the fact of the contract being wasted. It was a surprise, no doubt. But I feel like each contract, whether it be Money in the Bank, breakout tournament, whatever it may be, is set up to crown a new champion. I'm not saying it got to be like that all the time, but when she came out, I wasn't expecting her to win at all. I'm gonna just keep it real. I was still saying like Roxanne might end up winning. The match was great either way. I'm not tripping on it. It is what it is. She still solidified herself as a main woman on the NXT roster. So it ain't no skin off her back for doing what she did. And then with the interference at the end, set it up. So it looked like they're setting up Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez to be in a feud and all that stuff. But again, great match. It was a great match. They actually started the match off pure wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just straight pure wrestling. And then, it broke down after that. And then there was a lull. And then, Roxanne hit her with the pop rocks. And that's when Lola Vice came out.
I don't think the more I think about it, I don't know how long this breakout tournament has been going on, but I don't think anybody who won the breakout tournament won, with the exception of Obafemi, actually won something.
You might be right. So
none of them won.
Yeah, well, that cancels out what I just said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The more I think about it, because I'm thinking about, I remember the first one was that black guy that got all pissed off because of his shirt design, and he wrestled Adam Cole, and he lost.
Yeah.
So I don't think any breakout tournament winner has ever won, with the exception of Obafemi. But yeah, I get you, especially if the Money in the Bank. If you got the Money in the Bank and you still can't win the title, yeah, that's your bad. Because You
Yeah.
literally got an opportunity to get a guy when they laying half dead in the ring. So you should be able to capitalize on that. But unless they trying to, kill you dead like they did Damian Sandow, I never forgive John Cena for that. Never forgive him.
Yeah.
That was terrible, man. But this match was fantastic, man. This Lyra Valkyria won. I'm wondering where is Mako Satomura. I wouldn't mind seeing Lyra and Mako going at it just as like a one-off.
Yeah. Because I mean, where does Valkyria go from here? Like, we got and that's another thing. I guess we'll talk about it after that. But the Stand and Deliver pay-per-view, which is gonna be the biggest one. Like, who's gonna
Yeah.
challenge her? Like, where do they go from here? Now that Roxanne is out of the way, you know what I'm saying?
And a good opponent for her would have been Tiffany Stratton had they not brought Tiffany Stratton. No, which Tiffany Stratton is great. I know Venkat don't like her, but that woman is awesome.
People may disagree with me. I would say honestly, Tiffany Stratton, her talent and her aura supersedes the NXT title, in my opinion. She don't need the NXT championship.
I could
great,
agree with
you
that.
know what I'm saying?
I could agree with that. She is, and that's probably, you know what, and they probably saw that too, why she didn't have it long enough, because you thought we always knew it was gonna go to her eventually once she came back from injury, but for her to have such a short run versus like a Mandy Rose that had like a year run, because Mandy Rose wasn't that good, so she actually needed the title elevated her, whereas Tiffany is just so good she's bigger than the title. So yeah, I can see that. I think the champion needs to be Cora Jade, but Cora Jade got hurt, so we ain't gonna see her for a long time. But that's another one of those mean girl characters that I really like. Like Cora Jade is an awesome character, but unfortunately she's always getting hurt. So the next match, hey, I said it last week. I'd never seen this guy wrestle before, Obafemi, and he took on Dragon Lee. So I thought this match was great too. So I don't know, and I'm gonna have to see him wrestle again, because I don't know if it's just that Dragon Lee is that great and he carried him, to a good dance, or Obafemi really could. I mean, because literally all he had to do was
throw Dragon Lee around.
Yeah, and just be a base. Yeah, that's literally all he had to do. So I don't know. I need to see him I need to see him with somebody else that's probably not as good as Dragon Lee, to see if he probably, if he is that good. But this was another good one, man. I'll tell you, this night was this, and this was like, even because I just saw this and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like a throwaway show. This ain't nothing, but I'm just gonna watch it because it's Sunday night. I didn't have anything going on, so I'm like, all right, let me check it out. And I was very, very well pleased with this. But Obafemi did retain his title. So now I guess Dragon Lee is going to finally come back to SmackDown, because he was on SmackDown for a while, getting over. And then they brought him back to NXT. So hopefully it was just to get Obafemi over. And now he gets to come back to SmackDown, hopefully.
I thought it was going to be a squash match, but they actually made a match out of it, and that's what impressed me about Obafemi. He was able to hang. You know what I mean? He didn't get gassed. It didn't lull out. Like it was move for move. Like, even though it was the power versus speed type dynamic, but it looked great. You know what I'm saying? So at least I can say he can do that. Like I said, I'm with you. I got to see more on him. The way they carrying him, though, I can see that here's another guy that's going to be huge in NXT in the future.
Yeah, and that's a big boy too. So
yeah, and he can move.
Yeah. I like NXT. NXT does right with their black wrestlers, and then when they get to the main roster, that's when they fizzle out. But but yeah, NXT does real good with them. So Obafemi does retain. All right, man. So if you would have told me 3 months ago, 4 months ago, that your main event of a pay-per-view was going to be Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov, I was gonna say to you, who did Ilya piss off to deserve to have to defend his title against this guy? Let me be the first to say I'm 1,000,000% wrong. Trick Williams is that dude, and Trick Williams arrived Sunday night. This match was fantastic.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better in the ring. A lot better.
And man, I don't even know. Like, I'm telling you, when the beat drops of his song, and then that it builds up to that whoop that trick, and it's just like he comes out. I mean, just as hyped as I don't know what. And Ilya is the most intense wrestler on the planet right now. I mean, don't let his size fool you at all. I wouldn't mind Gunther doing like an open challenge and he comes out to challenge him. I mean, my goodness. Hell, give me Ilya versus Chad Gable for a couple of months in the program. Man, if you want to, oh my good, this man.
I mean, hell, they were booing Ilya Dragunov through the match.
Yeah.
That's how over Trick Williams is.
You know what made this, and I hate it, but you know what made this match so great is when they start bleeding. Trick's mouth was busted up. Ilya was bleeding.
That was the beginning of the match.
Ilya was bleeding out his forehead, and it just made, and I'm glad they didn't stop it. It just made the match just so much better, man. I'm just sitting there like, man, the intensity, Trick with the hurt leg, because playing off from the beginning in the Dusty Classics. Mello was down at ringside, so there was a spot on the outside where Mello tried to run interference, and Ilya moved out of the way, and Mello ended up clipping Trick, but it was played off as accidental. But then that played into the body of the match now, because now Trick is basically a one-legged man in the ass-kicking contest, and Ilya just was just smelling blood in the water. Hey, listen, those H-bombs are devastating. He don't hold nothing back, man. Bro, oh my goodness, man. Trick, but I love when Trick start hulking up. I don't know, I guess you call it tricking up. I don't know. Man, when he start getting crunk, I'm like, my good. I said to myself, I'm like, are they gonna put the title on him? I was like, nah, they ain't gonna put, because I'm like, they ain't gonna put the title on him, because this match is just to progress the next story. I'm like, but no, wait a minute, they're really gonna put the title on him, and they got me on that.
They gave you the hope spot.
Yeah, they got me on that false finish. Oh my goodness, man. I'm jumping out the chair. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, they did. But then I'm like, nah, they got him. So the finish comes because Trick is like just completely hulking up, and he got Ilya Dragunov down. So now Trick is going for his move called a trick knee, which I didn't know that was the name of it, but I heard them say it. Oh, by the way, Wade Barrett was on commentary because Booker T said that he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. I guess something's going on with him. So Trick is going for the trick knee, and at the same time, Ilya's going for the flying torpedo, he calls it, and they're running at each other the same time, and Ilya hits him with the torpedo for the 1, 2, 3. Man, I think that deflated the hell out of me, man, because I was like, damn, man, it was so great. And they got me to a point where I'm like, I love Ilya Dragunov, and I'm like, he could always get it back, but man, I wouldn't mind seeing them put that belt on Trick at least for a month or two, just to run with it and just to see what would happen. Man, I thought this match was great though, man. They gave you your hope spots, they gave you your drama, they gave you everything you needed. Trick didn't look out of place there. The crowd was in his back pocket. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, the crowd was amped up. The crowd was definitely amped up for this one. Like I said, to the point where they were booing Ilya. They did the back and forth forearms, and they were booing Ilya. I said, damn. I was like, yeah, that's when you know Trick is basically the superstar NXT right now. So yeah, it was a great match, man. I can't give Trick enough credit. And like I said, once they get finished with this storyline with him and Melo, it's over the top after that. It's over the top.
Yeah, I could see Trick being, like I said, I could see Trick being what they wanted Velveteen Dream to be. Velveteen Dream is much smoother in the ring, but he's been doing it a lot longer. Trick was playing college football not too long ago. Let me see what Chris says. Chris says, I watched firsthand Trick Williams go from Melo's ball boy to just massively overstar. Trick and Melo game for life. Hey, so I told him I wanted to get, so that was the match. So we get the match out of the way. I gave that match 5 stars. So there you go. Venkat, there go my first 5-star match for the year. I thought that match was phenomenal. Trick Williams is the most overstar. There go Venkat talking about a Trick match without Booker T is not right. Trick Williams is Trick. The only person Trick is not more over than is Cody Rhodes, and we'll get to that later. But Trick Williams is the second most overstar in all of WWE. There, I said it. I could admit when I'm wrong. I just thought he was a flunky, didn't know what he was doing. That guy got organically over. That whooped that Trick. I experienced that in person. When you see 10,000 white people hollering, whoop that Trick, hey, you didn't just run on. Hey, that's not just something that just happened accidentally. That man got himself over. And so
Trick ain't easy t-shirt.
Kudos to that. He was playing football at South Carolina a couple years ago. He came in the class. I think he came in the 2020 class.
He started. They say because he said it in the promo before the match. 2019 is when he started.
Yeah, and Nurabomb says NXT has been hidden. Absolutely. I gave that match a 5-star, man. What was your rating for that match?
I can't give it a 5. I want to give it a 5.5 if 5.5 was a score. I mean, not 5.5, 4.5. It was a score. I can't give it a 5. I ain't gonna go that far into it. The artistry of the match was great. Don't get it twisted. The artistry, the storytelling, the dichotomy of the dynamics in the match was great. It was great. Probably the best thing that I've seen on NXT this year. You know what I'm saying? Will I give it a 5? I ain't gonna go that far. I give it a 4.5.
Yeah. Well, you know, with me, I'm more into storytelling of a match more than your move for move. Like again, I'm the guy that says Kenny Omega and Okada wasn't anything. It was 45-minute waste of my time. Just because all the moves that they did, it told no story. I love a storytelling match. Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair at WrestleMania wasn't good at all in the ring, but the story it told was tremendous. I mean, like, so that's me. So I give it to, I definitely, because I give this event 4.5 stars. So Venkat ain't up here. We could do half stars. I see Nerabon saying the same thing. Ilya needs to be the one to beat Gunther. I'd love him to just do like an open challenge and they revisit that. But Gunther hitting on all cylinders, man. And on Monday Night Raw,
what happens to Ilya before after Stand and Deliver? Hell, it might happen.
Yeah, especially with all the plans just changing. But we know who Gunther's next opponent going to be based off of Monday Night Raw. It is going to be main event Jey Uso. We know that it was going to be Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar has now completely been scrubbed from everything they do. So it's funny. I didn't get to use his line last week, but they have Chris Benoit, Vince McMahon. The irony in that is just insane. Now, I think Chris Benoit is the worst person on earth that ever walked the earth. Animal piece of garbage. But the fact that they have Chris Benoit, Vince McMahon out of his own company is just, I mean, that is what irony is right there.
Yeah, I done seen so many memes about that.
So let's get to the part that I wanted to talk to MD specifically about. So we all knew it was coming. You just didn't know how it was coming. Trick's in the middle of the ring. He's hurt. Mello comes in, hugs him. Mello tells him, I'm proud of you. You did a good job. You almost had him. Then they do the little lower third. NXT does a little lower third, and you think the show's going off of air. Then Mello just drops in the background, takes the knee out. And everybody's just looking like, oh God, here it goes. And then he just proceed to beat the holy hell out of Trick. But you know what makes this look so great is because the busted mouth. Yeah. Oh my goodness, not another one. Ricardo, get rid of that person for me. Ricardo Bones, one of y'all, get rid of that person. I don't know nobody who's trying to sell nothing in here. This is like the second time you came over here. But yeah, so this is what I wanted to talk about, because to me, they're telling the story of I was okay with you, but now that you're getting a little more popular than me, now it's time for me to humble you. And he basically said that, like, I was so glad they let Mello cut a promo last night. So Mello comes out to open the show and he says, nah, y'all not ready to hear from me yet. He just leaves. Then he comes back at the end and he says that it was all good when it was Trick Mello. You were just my cheerleader, this and that. He said you were supposed to win the North American title, and that was it. He's like, you were supposed to win the North American title, and I'm supposed to be the NXT champion, and that's where it was supposed to be. But you start having like aspirations to be the NXT champion. MD, it's literally everything we ever talk about. That crab in the barrel mentality. Every time you see somebody about to surpass what you think they should be, you feel insecure and you gotta try to pull them back. Man, yeah. Hey, Nerobomb, I believe Mello is gonna be the Marty Jannetty of the duo. And speaking of that, me and Venkat were talking about doing a show called The Other Guy, where we look at famous tag teams and then talk about the other guy, the guy that didn't make it, the Marty Jannetty's of the group. So we still got that in the back pocket. But so what do you think about the way this all turned out?
Yeah, man. I can agree with it, man. And I don't know the dynamics of how they booked it. I mean, it's a classic storyline. I ain't saying it's not, but it's special because of who it involves in this scenario. You know what I'm saying? Where Mello at one point in time was like the face of NXT in regards to having the swagger.
Yeah.
Standing out. You know what I mean? Being NXT champion. Seeing a dynamic of a champion that we can be accustomed to. You know what I mean? And
go ahead and say it, MD. Go ahead and say it.
What you mean?
Go ahead and say it, because I know where you're going.
Again, like I said, I'm from a black perspective. To see a champion and not be dwindled down to the professionalism of what WWE expects a black person to look like. That cliche status quo game Negro as a professional wrestler. To me, Mello, yeah, not dancing around, you know what I mean? Not, to me, Mello, he exudes what a champion is supposed to look like, but at the same time maintain the swag that we expect out of a black person that is on top. You know what I'm saying? He could do both. Trick was just a dude in the background. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, when they propel Trick to a status, and to me, like I look at, if I'm gonna pick out the moment where they had the what was that, the 4-man? When it was Trick, yeah, it was Trick, Baron Corbin, Dijak. Who else was in? And Mello. What to me, that's what. Yeah. Remember, Ilya. Remember, it was right after they had the All-Star NXT. When it was Cody Rhodes and all them. When he was talking about the Dusty Classic and all. Yeah, they had a four-way to decide the number one contender at that time. To me, that's when you start to see, okay, even though stuff was happening before then, you could see Melo like, man, you know, basically, hey, this nigga think he hot. You know what I mean? And you can start to see. So that dynamic, to me, even though it's a old trope in professional wrestling storyline, it's different because of who's in it. So yeah, I totally agree. Crab in the barrel. I totally that's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? As a tone to how we view crab in the barrel versus any other situation where this storyline has taken place with anybody else. So
And
yeah, I 100% agree.
you know what was so telling about this, because I saw this again when they were at SmackDown. The crowd, because they don't know them. The crowd wasn't really into Carmelo like that. It could have been because he was going against Theory. But when Trick came out and the way the crowd erupted, Melo gave him this look like what the hell you doing? Like you stealing my shine. Like what's going? And it's always been that where it's just like, hey man, you're trying to steal my shine. What's going on? And you knew it was eventually gonna erupt, but it's like we see it in everyday life. It's just like I work with guys that'll say, oh man, I've been doing this for 40 years. I'm not gonna tell the new guy how to do it because I don't want him to take my spot.
Yeah.
You know, while we simultaneously telling him like, hey, you're not gonna lose your spot. But we need somebody to be able to do this in the event that you're not here. Like it's a tried and true trope, man. And I think that if Melo did this to anybody else, the feud wouldn't really be hot.
Oh,
but
nah,
the fact that it is Trick, he is going to get booed like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And it's going to make for a great, because Melo is, you know what, Melo, you know what Melo could be? Melo could be the Eddie Guerrero right now when they was putting Dominic Mysterio's custody on the pole. You hated Eddie so much, and you wanted Ray to win so bad. And I see that they could do this right now because Trick is like just the most over guy in NXT, and Melo has now become the #1 heel. Like, hey, you took Trick from us, and I love the fact that they didn't have Trick show up on NXT. So Melo's cutting his promo, and Trick's music plays. So the fans going crazy because they think Trick's coming out. And then Melo just start laughing in the middle of the ring, and he starts bobbing and dancing and everything. And then everybody realized that Trick not coming, and it's like, oh man, then the boos really start raining down on him. So I thought it. Yeah, I thought it was great, man. I thought this show, damn, Mike said he working 14 hours. It's crazy as hell. I thought this was great. I just thought, I jumped the gun. I thought this was fantastic. I give this event a 4.5 overall. Yeah, Chris, y'all didn't hear earlier because y'all just now coming in. When Venkat and myself originally decided to do the wrestling show, it wasn't really to go over weekly shows. Like we just kind of fell into that just because it was the easiest thing to do, but it was more so to put spotlights on specific things. Like I want to talk about stories and things like that. We're going to go back in time and relive some of these scandals. Like one of the scandals I want to talk about is the Bruiser Brody murders. We want to talk about the steroid trial. We want to talk about the Ring Boy scandal. You know, anything naming Vince McMahon right now because he's on fire. So we don't really want to, we don't really want to just break down the regular hole for hole, week for week stuff. Other people's here to do that. So that means that now Chris, Bones, all you guys could come on and give us your updates for the weekly shows. I'll still watch them, but I'm not going to be reporting on them like how we were doing just religiously because it's not fair. MD don't get to watch all the shows. Venkat don't get to watch all the shows. So for me, just sitting here going over all the shows without no input from them, is just like, yeah, we don't really need to do that. Our time is better spent on talking about topical stuff. And I thought this week was going to be a breeze, but then all this news hit. So what you give this show, MD?
I give it a 4 overall. Like I said, all of the matches except for the 6-man tag were great matches. I give all of them a 4. The main event, I give a 4.5. So I'm just gonna say it averages out to a 4. It was a great premium live event. Like I said, I wasn't expecting that. Can you hear me?
No, I just saw the Tyrant came
Oh,
up,
okay.
so I'm like,
Oh, there. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that pay-per-view to be like that good. I'm intrigued with NXT now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Especially with WrestleMania weekend coming up. And that's what I wanted to ask you, Trevor. How do you feel about Stand and they were talking about all the pay-per-views coming up. Stand and Deliver is going to be WrestleMania weekend, and they showed the graphic. It's the start time is 11:30
in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm assuming that's going to be like a pre-show kickoff, and then the actual card start at like 12:30. So that's wrestling all day long for Saturday.
Oh my goodness. Hey, well, I'm just gonna go out on a limb. Stand and Deliver is probably gonna be better than WrestleMania, just because NXT notoriously is better than the main roster. But if this was a show that we considered to be a throwaway show, and this show was so fire, I mean, if the worst thing we could say was a 6-man, and not even that the 6-man was bad, it's just that it was just there. I mean, so wait a minute. Chris is saying, what about Jeff Jarrett not defending his Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I never even heard of that. You can enlighten me on that. He's also saying Dijak's contract is up in June. Man needs to go to TNA when he leaves. All right. So, hey, I'm the king of pivot. But before I pivot, shout out to Venkat in the building. What's up, Venkat?
What's going on, MD? What's going on, Trevor?
Not a damn thing, man. Not a damn thing. So speaking of pivot, you bring up TNA. So we do have a story that actually broke today, and this is why I needed MD to talk about this. On my way home, I saw this. The news: TNA Wrestling fires Scott D'Amore, names new president. The company announcing the move on Wednesday. So they announced this literally today, like about 12 o'clock. I saw this. No, about 2 o'clock. Scott, my first introduction to Scott D'Amore was at the Hard to Kill pay-per-view. He was the one that came out and said that, we're going back to the TNA name, and this is all the things that we're looking forward to doing. So now he gets the boot. So this comes from Wrestling Observer. There's been a major leadership shakeup at TNA. The promotion's parent company, Anthem Sports and Entertainment, revealed on Wednesday that Scott D'Amore's contract has been terminated, and Anthony Siccione has been named the new president. So this is a direct quote from Anthem. Anthem Sports and Entertainment, Inc., a global multi-platform media company, announced today that the appointment of Anthony Siccione as the president of TNA Wrestling. The move aims to further integrate TNA Wrestling into Anthem's entertainment group, of which Siccione is the president, leveraging the entire company's resources to add more value in areas including production, distribution, marketing, viewership, customer acquisition, digital revenue streams, ad sales, and sponsorship, digital tech operations, and more. Siccione replaces D'Amore, whose contract with Anthem has been terminated. D'Amore has been a part of TNA since 2003. Man, over 20 years. Wow. Has held many key leadership positions and played a vital role in the growth of the company, leading to its strong industry reputation today. But you just kick him in the ass and tell him to go, including the successful return of the TNA wrestling brand in 2024. Anthem thanks him for the commitment he brought to the business, the talent, and the people who work outside of the ring. So according to PW Insider is reporting that the belief is the decision came directly from Anthem's president and CEO. Fightful is reporting that TNA talent and staff were informed of the move today and were on a Zoom call to discuss it as of about 1:20 p.m. Eastern time. So they literally heard about this after lunch. Several members of TNA roster have commented on the news. D'Amore's second stint with TNA began in 2017 when he was brought back to the company by Jeff Jarrett to serve as vice president of international relations after having been with Global Force Wrestling in the same role in 2014. In December 2017, D'Amore and Don Callis were named executive vice presidents of the company. D'Amore was later named president of Impact Wrestling in March. Siccione will now run the day-to-day operations of TNA Wrestling. He has been with Anthem for 16 years. His current job description reads that he oversees all operations and financial performance of the entertainment group, which includes Access TV, HDNet Movies, Game TV, Game Plus, Fight Network, and Anthem Medium Service. He is also responsible for the broadcast and the IT support of all Anthem products. All right, so before we go on, just here's a thing from Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace says, "Heart and soul of TNA, irreplaceable." Her and a picture of Scott D'Amore. And Frankie Kazarian Vince says, the incredibly painstaking, tedious, and difficult work that Scott D'Amore has put in to bring TNA to this very exciting moment in time cannot be understated. We all wrestlers and fans alike owe him a debt of gratitude. So I don't know anything about Scott D'Amore. I know MD is a TNA guy. So what do you think about them giving him the can?
Yeah. I mean, with all the work that he put in, it's devastating. I heard about this maybe like an hour and a half before we went live. So Scott D'Amore, like I said, he started, huh?
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt, MD, but
You're not.
Okay, I'm not. I'm not. That tweet that was on the screen, that was from yesterday. But we're saying that we just found out about this guy and everything, but it seemed like people were talking about it the day before.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, that could have just been something. Wow. Yeah.
Maybe they knew it before it was officially, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Because Frankie Kazarian, he works in the front office too.
Yeah.
TNA.
So when is the one?
What's the reason? Did he do something wrong? What's the real reason?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think something happened. I think something happened that we don't know about. Not necessarily something like socially wrong. Something may have happened between him and Anthem. Remember, Scott D'Amore is the one that improved the production. At one point in time, Impact Wrestling, their production was horrible.
Yeah.
Scott D'Amore fought Anthem to get better production. He fought for the Access TV deal. Scott D'Amore did a lot of stuff. Scott D'Amore was, he was part of when he was still talent at that time. He was the manager of Team Canada when TNA started with P.D. Williams, Bobby Roode, and Eric Young. That was back in 2003. So he was talent back then. As TNA went on, he started becoming part of booking and stuff like that. And then when Jeff Jarrett created Global Force, when what's her face? Dixie Carter came in, Jeff Jarrett created Global Force and took Scott D'Amore with him. And then after all that happened, Scott D'Amore came back to TNA. Scott D'Amore has been an integral part of TNA for a long time. I don't see, and I'm pretty sure he's part of booking. So me personally, I think something happened between him and the heads at Anthem, and they just got him up out of there. That's just me putting on tinfoil hat. I can't substantiate that in no type of way, but I don't see any reason for them to fire Scott D'Amore.
I just got to read this comment from Chris, because I mean, man, if anybody represents me more than this comment, he says, hell no, Jordan Grace is the heart and soul of Impact. F. Scott, he did get back to where it needs to be, but yet by Scott, take your husband Giselle Shaw with you. I mean,
and that's another thing. Like, what's up? Giselle Shaw is talent. My
goodness.
What is this guy a real guy or is a person that transitioned?
No, his girl.
This picture don't look like an actual man.
Yeah,
this looks like a guy. This looks like a woman that turned into a man.
His girlfriend is.
Yeah, he's dating a tranny. Giselle Shaw is a talent in TNA. She's a transsexual person.
Well, this guy looked like one too. I mean, I mean, this
He
this don't
didn't
look
used
like a
to
guy
he
to
didn't
me.
used to look when he was part of Team Canada. He didn't look like that. I don't know what
Oh,
happened. That ain't enough for
oh,
me to do. I don't know.
oh,
But
oh.
you know, yeah. He do look a little. You know what I'm saying? He look a little
And
glossy in the face.
for this, hey, there's nothing wrong. I'm not against that. I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know when all that happened.
Now you want to hedge it. So but you know what this looks like to me, because Jordan Grace said that look forward to them working with WWE more, and they're talking about this new guy Cicerone is gonna kind of make everything come together. Like they're gonna start acquiring media rights deals and things like that. This just seems like a big power play to me. Like they're just bringing in the guy that's trying to get them the best deal, and they don't think Scott D'Amore was doing it. That's how it comes off to me, because unless something comes out that, hey, this is what's happened, unless we find out that the owners of Anthem, don't like his lifestyle, that'll be another thing.
But don't you think they're right?
I don't think it's that.
Aren't they kind of right when they say that type of assessment? Because this guy has been associated with TNA for at least 20 years, and TNA really hasn't done anything for the last 20 years. So if they're aspiring to be a little bit better, and maybe they need new vision.
So possibly, Van Cat, this can be like a Eric Bischoff type situation where you get rid of the old guard in WCW and you bring in a young hotshot TV exec.
Exactly, I agree with this.
And you saw what that did for WCW. I can get that, but
no, wait, hold on now.
No. See, Trevor took that wrong. I'm saying Eric Bischoff took WCW from center stage to Monday Night.
Exactly.
You said it right. You said
exactly.
Trevor. I know what you were doing, Trevor. That's cool. But again, I can see that, but that goes back to what I was originally saying. Something happened between Scott D'Amore and the big wigs at Anthem to say, hey, look, maybe, you know what I mean? Like we need this, and this. You made us spend money by amping up production quality. Anthem had to spend that money to do that. We did all these things, and yet, as far as like a TV deal, we're still not there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can see that. I can see that.
Okay. So, by the way, Trevor, I have an update for that overlay. I got to get it put up because, of course, it's got to be Samoa Joe now. MJF is not here.
All right. Chris is saying Finkel is Einhorn and Einhorn is Finkel. She's a man. Hey, you got to be friends with Zay, because only two people I know that's irreverent like this is me and Zay. So you'll fit right in. So Nerabon says, nah, Scott turned his company around. It was a shit. It was shit a few years back.
I agree with
it's
that.
On fire. This was just a company not wanting Scott associated with TNA. Okay, so Nerabon, is there any credence to what I'm saying, that the owners of Anthem don't care necessarily for his lifestyle? Now, did the thing with with James, with the evil guy, did that happen on D'Amore's watch? The whole cocaine scene?
Oh, that's crazy.
That was NWA. That was NWA.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Okay. But I don't take any precedent in that, because Giselle Shaw right now is one of the top quote unquote women's wrestlers in TNA right now.
Yeah, when your man running the show, though, I mean,
yeah, that's kind of suspect. It's like when you're the married to the daughter of the owner of the league. You want, I don't know. It's kind of suspect.
I like to say, I don't know. Like I had just heard about this like an hour and a half before we went live.
All right, so yeah, this just literally when I was getting ready to lock down the shop, I looked and I saw the update come up. So I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. So we'll what's Nervon saying? Nah, it has nothing to do with that. If that was an issue, he would have been fired a long time ago. Nobody in the company cares about that. All right. So maybe it'll come out like what was, and it could be something simple as, hey, his vision wasn't what we're going for. But I just think it's pretty crappy. According to y'all, this guy brought the company out of the doldrums, and he literally last month at Hard to Kill said, we're the new we're back at to TNA, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And then 2 weeks later, hey, remember that weird stuff you were talking about? Yeah. That's just how it comes off. But
yeah. I was always thought I always thought that he was booking. So now I'm like, well, who's booking TNA? Because I thought it was him.
All right, so we'll keep we'll keep abreast of that situation. Only one thing I wanted to go over is SmackDown. Like I said, we're not going to do these weekly reviews anymore. One item did happen at SmackDown that I knew it was going to happen, and I love the way it happened. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Bayley finally turned on Damage Control, but the way she did it, it made too much sense, because you could tell who's ever booking the show now is like, hey, let's use what the audience has been seeing and use that in Bayley's story. The audience always sees them laughing behind her back, talking about her when she's not around. Let's not act like the audience is stupid, and let's pay them off. So Bayley's in the middle of the ring and said, hey, she speaks Japanese, and she said, yeah, I learned that. You guys don't think I heard all the times you were talking bad about me, blah, blah, blah. She turns on them. We're getting Bayley versus EO at Mania. Just like I said, can't wait for the hugger to come back. And Bayley top 5 outfit right there in wrestling. So that was it of that. I want to play this. Yeah, they did do the Batista thumbs down. Hey, listen, I don't care what people say. Raw and SmackDown have been on fire, just the way things have been going. And this is the first time in a long time I can say the GM roles are actually working, like with Aldis and Scrap Iron.
Adam Pearce.
Yeah, because they're giving people contracts. They're trying to one up each other and say, hey, if he's offering you this, I'll give you a shot at this title and this and that. Like, why wouldn't you want to negotiate? If Braun Breaker is supposed to be such a big deal, make him feel like a big deal. So I love the way they're doing that. But I want to play a clip real quick before we get into the next story. And this is what's pretty much going to dominate the rest of the show. So we'll see if we can get you out of here. I'm glad Venkat's up here now, so we could we can get into the meat of the stuff. So I want everybody to listen to this real quick.
It's getting a little hot in here. You're more CM Punk than I am? Well, allow me to give you the full Road to WrestleMania CM Punk experience. See, Cody Rhodes, you have carried this company on your back for a soul-crushing 2 years, and you're right around the corner, and they hand you the cover of the WWE 2K video game. Congratulations, by the way. It's on sale pretty soon, I'm sure. And right when you're about to cross the finish line and finish your story. Oh, wait! What's that in the distance? It's a much bigger superstar that hasn't been around in a very long time, coming to take it all away from you.
Oh boy, last week the wrestling world went crazy. They lost their mind. This comes from wrestlingnews.co. I think it was Mike who spoiled this for me, because I wasn't watching SmackDown live at the time, or no, I was behind. And when Mike spoiled it, I'm like, oh. And then I actually got a chance to watch it. I'm like, I don't feel bad about this, because I know exactly what they're doing, and this TV has been playing it up exactly what they're doing. Tomorrow is going to be the WrestleMania press conference. Man, I wish we could stream that live. Depending on what they say, we might have to break in and do a report on it or something. But here we go. So this comes from wrestlingnews.co. The Rock versus Roman Reigns wasn't planned as of a few days ago. Dwayne Johnson pushed hard for the match. So the match has not been officially announced, but is expected that on Thursday in Las Vegas, which is tomorrow, that The Rock versus Roman Reigns will be set in stone as the main event for WrestleMania. During SmackDown, The Rock appeared and stood face-to-face with Reigns after Cody gave up his main event slot, just days after winning the Men's Royal Rumble match and pointing at Reigns at the end of the show. The decision to change the main event happened within the last few days, and Rhodes versus Reigns was planned as of earlier this week, but things changed by the time they went on air on Monday night as they began teasing Rhodes versus Seth. Dave Meltzer wrote on the Wrestling Observer Forum, it was the plan on that night, the Royal Rumble. It was the plan the next day. It was the plan the day after that. In another post on F4W Forum, Meltzer said Dwayne Johnson was pushing hard for the match with Reigns, even after the idea was suggested to do the match in Saudi Arabia. Meltzer wrote, Dwayne pushed super hard for it. Read last week's issue and this week's. Yeah, push us to the Observer. The card changed when Punk and Brock were out and all the dominoes fell. Dwayne already wanted it, and they felt that they now needed it as well. Felt this was better to change the news flow away from Vince. Cody was the plan. Dwayne was going to face him later, maybe next year's Mania, maybe Saudi. Shit happens. With Vince and Punk, the Vince thing ended up worse than they thought, and they changed the plan. I literally didn't know until yesterday that it could change, and then I was told it's under lock. But 100% it was Punk versus Seth and Cody versus Reigns until Punk got hurt. Going forward, it looks like that Rhodes will officially challenge Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship in the next few days. As stated during his promo on SmackDown, Rhodes still plans on finishing the story by beating Roman Reigns. He did not specify when that might happen. So we all saw the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes did win the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes, at the end of the Royal Rumble, pointed to Roman Reigns and said, I'm coming for you. I'm going to finish my story. Cody Rhodes comes out on Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins is begging Cody to pick him. Cody Rhodes is like, let me think about it. Cody Rhodes goes to SmackDown on Friday and says that I'm going to still finish the story. But then he drops the most ridiculous line I've ever heard, but it doesn't have to be at WrestleMania because I need to end you. And I was talking to somebody else. I was counseling with somebody else. And then The Rock comes out and they do the face off. And all signs are pointing to Rock versus Reigns at WrestleMania. I have always said The Rock versus Reigns in a head of the table match is bigger than the title. It doesn't need the title. But I am not mad at this at all because I know exactly what's getting ready to happen. So, Vancat, we're talking about this. Don't move on to anything else yet. What do you think about this situation right here?
First of all, I'm gonna move anywhere I want to move, sir. Thank you.
No, man. No, this ain't Tafer's policies. We got structure over here.
Whatever. So you said, what do I think about this match here?
What do you think about this situation with Cody basically giving up his WrestleMania spot?
I think it's crap. I think it's stupid. I think it exposed that winning the Royal Rumble doesn't really have much hella beans behind it. I think they make themselves look stupid. There's a lot of ways. There's so many ways you can go with this, but they need to correct it. They need to make it more official. I would have liked to have seen maybe The Rock would have said, hey, you won the Royal Rumble. Fight me at the Elimination Chamber for the Royal Rumble right to face Roman Reigns. Something that just makes it make more sense or makes it make it more official. It just looks like they don't know what they're doing. And this whole thing about storytelling and they've been doing this story of the bloodline for the last 3-4 years. They've just been doing this off the seat of their ass the whole time. And it's been changing week to week, and that's what it's been. So this exposes that. Now, I will say I do want to see Roman against The Rock. I think a blind man can see that's the best match to have. You don't need to rehash this. But I will say that Bubba Ray Dudley on Busted Open, he had a great take on where to go with this. I think it's the best thing I've heard. And I've always said, I don't understand this idea that Roman Reigns needs to be beaten by Cody Rhodes. I find that ridiculous. And I think it's even worse when you say it has to happen at WrestleMania. I don't know where that came from. And I think Bubba Ray Dudley is saying it just needs to happen in Madison Square Garden. I think that's like brilliant. You know, Dusty won the title in Madison Square Garden, but then they took it away from him. You're talking about finishing a story. That's where the story need to end right there. I totally agree with his take on that. But that makes a lot more sense. I don't know where this WrestleMania stuff came from. Well, for some reason, Cody Rhodes need to win that title at that event, which is like so irrelevant. It had nothing to do with that. Could happen at SummerSlam. It could happen anyway. It could happen on Monday Night Raw. But it don't need to happen at WrestleMania. But these wrestling fans are all butthurt about first of all, everybody was going crazy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just 2-3 weeks ago, everybody went nuts when The Rock showed up 2-3 weeks ago, and that match was on. And people were mad at Cody at one point, and now they're mad at The Rock. And what is going on here? It makes no sense.
Well, I'll say this. I consider Trevor to be a WWE traditionalist. It shocks me that you ain't got no issue with Cody winning the Rumble and now not.
Because I know what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about from the base of tradition. I'm just talking about from the base.
I want to let MD go with it uninterrupted first before I tell you. I know exactly what's going to happen.
Well, I'm just saying from the base of the tradition of the winner of the Rumble going to WrestleMania. Going back to the point of trying to veer away from the Vince stuff and the Brock stuff. Of course, you didn't know what was going to happen with CM Punk, so that I can give you a pass with. But you knew about Vince and Brock. So if your whole plan was to call the audible, why have Cody win the Rumble in the first place? You know what I mean? Like it don't make sense to me. And that's why people are upset, because they're WWE traditionalists and they understand that the person that wins the Royal Rumble then goes on to have a championship match at WrestleMania. I mean, hell, the ring announcer says that before the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? So that's why they upset. You can't get mad at the fans. They understand that traditionally you're supposed to get a match at WrestleMania. Now, all of a sudden, it's not.
But MD, the fans have been speaking a lot of trash, though, man. It's a lot of inconsistent. It's a lot of inconsistent reactions. The back and forth. 1 minute they want this match, the next minute they want this other match. It's a lot of nonsense with the fans, man.
So, Venkat, so Trevor said he didn't have an issue with it. Do you have an issue with the winner of the Royal Rumble not getting his title match at WrestleMania? Do you have an issue with that?
No, I don't like that. I want the match, Rock and Roman Reigns, but I don't like how we got there.
Well, that's fine. I don't have no issue. I told you, I don't like Cody winning the Rumble. That was pre all of this stuff happening. I didn't like it. But that don't take away from the fact that he's supposed to get his title match at WrestleMania. It just don't take away from it. And if you're coming with the perception of it being finishing the story all year long, all 2023, pretty much, after April, finishing the story has been the main slogan.
Right.
And now it's the switch. I mean, you can't really get mad at the fan for not getting the perceived payoff. That's all I'm saying.
If it's me, I would like I said, there's multiple ways we could go about this. But if it was me, judging by the fact that Roman Reigns is a part-time champion, one of the worst defending champions of all time, he should wrestle in the main event in night 1 and night 2. He should face Roman. I mean, he should face Rock and he should face Cody, and put the title up on the line both nights, back to back. That's what he should do. But whatever.
All right, tell us what's gonna happen, Trevor.
Oh, y'all done? I don't want to interrupt you.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Chris Morales, Chris just on fire. Chris, you got it right on the nail. This is all a big work. And I'm gonna show you how it's all a big work.
Oh, Lord
See what I'm saying?
Jesus.
The man can't even let me get 2 seconds into what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. He ain't got no day. He like these Bible guys on Thursday.
Oh, Lord.
So 2 things is happening here. If it was always going to Rock Roman, the best thing to do would have been for somebody in the Rumble to get hurt. You have a surprise entrance, boom, you throw Rock in, he wins the Rumble, boom, you solve that. WWE has never, ever played into the fact that one of their videos got over 250,000 dislikes on it. You can't find me one time that they've ever said anything negative about one of their videos. Not to mention, there's fan reports, actual fan reports from people that go to the shows that have been handed out these "We Want Cody" signs that are being passed out by WWE officials. I was just at a show 2 weeks ago. They took a 6-year-old kid sign from him. But all of a sudden, they're passing out signs for "We Want Cody." I'm going to bring one thing to your name, and I'm gonna move on from this because I'm gonna just let it play out. Daniel Bryan. That's all I'm gonna say. 2014, Daniel Bryan. Don't be surprised. I thought about the Roman Reigns defend the belt on 2 nights. That would probably make the most logical sense. But you're probably gonna because Rock is pushing strong to win this belt. I don't know why Rock would want the belt because he's not going to be there the next day, but there are reports that he is pushing strongly to beat Roman for the title. And I always say this match does not need the belt, but whatever. But the fact that he's pushing so strong for it, then the ultimate thing to do would be like, hey, I beat you for it, then you wrestle like a mini tournament. College football, then you play the winner of the next one. I do agree with Venkat on this. It didn't need to be at WrestleMania. When Cody said that it's not going to be at WrestleMania, I was wholeheartedly thinking that he was going to say it was going to be at the Elimination Chamber. He beats him for the title at Elimination Chamber. You still finish the story in front of 70,000 people. What's the difference? This whole finishing the story at WrestleMania didn't happen until late last year. He always said he wanted to finish the story. He never said to finish the story the second time was the win at WrestleMania. We made that up, and then they just start running with it. But I'm not going to go any further with what I think is going to happen. I want to hear what this press conference is tomorrow. I wish it was a way to play the press conference, but absolutely not. I'm even thinking the dreaded triple threat match. Oh man, I don't want to see a triple threat at WrestleMania in the main event.
That would be horrible.
But they might even be going that route. The fans, WWE has never had their announcers. Only one other time in history, and I've been watching this nonstop, so I know only one other time in history have they ever had their announcers lean into what people are talking about online. Pat McAfee opened Monday's show with, hey, Cody Rhodes been trending on Twitter for 3 days. Hey, we want Cody. They don't do that. The only other time they did that was when Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. And how did that happen? Bryan opened the card to wrestle Triple H, and he ended up winning in the triple threat at night. All I'm saying is I've been watching this long enough to know they are making Cody, they are turning Cody into this Daniel Bryan-esque character, which he didn't need it. I don't know why they would do that with somebody like him. He's already over. I'd give that push to somebody else, but that's exactly what they're doing. WWE, when the Yes movement was going on, WWE was the one handing out those signs. Now that we want Cody, they're the ones handing out those signs. They love this. They want people to be talking about this. You know why? Because they're not talking about Vince McMahon. We're going to talk about Vince McMahon, but they're not talking.
Trevor, I would agree with everything you're saying, but the truth of the matter is Cody is the one that deferred to The Rock. He did it himself. So how are we then going to backtrack and then try to work around and go through the back door to get Cody back into the main. That's the part that I don't understand. Cody is the one that
would make The Rock look like a noble person if he says, "Hey, when I beat him, you got first."
Okay, all right, we'll see.
And Venkat brought that up. So I'm not even going to try to take that as something I said. Venkat brought that up. If Rock beats Roman again, I said from the beginning, Rock versus Roman, the head of the table writes itself. The match is going to be god awful. I'm telling you that now. But they don't, and Venkat loves to talk about Roman getting in the ring and sweating. At least he does something. Rock got in the ring for 2 minutes and was soaking wet. Like what? Like what the hell are we talking about? That match is going to be dreadful.
Don't talk about The Rock like that.
That match is going to be dreadful. But I'm still saying, the Cody and that Madison Square Garden thing would be great, especially that they just had a bull rope match on Monday. It just writes itself. But
They shouldn't be trying to get rid of the title from Roman at around this time. They need to push this jump down to SummerSlam-ish time. Maybe get SummerSlam to be in Madison Square Garden. At that point, Roman Reigns would have passed Hulk Hogan. Maybe what's that other guy? Oh God, the guy that had that feud with Bret Hart. That
Bob Backlund.
Yeah. Like he could possibly pass those two guys about SummerSlam-ish time. So you'll have Roman hit that milestone. It'll bring him up, and then you'll have Cody end up finishing the story in Madison Square Garden at the second biggest event.
Madison Square Garden is too small of a venue for SummerSlam now.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's not about
SummerSlam doing stadiums now.
Yeah, but they don't have to do it that way. You want to get it for Madison Square Garden just means so much to WWF history in general. Even the WrestleManias at one point, every 10th WrestleMania was usually at Madison Square Garden. It just has significance. And then with the story of Dusty Rhodes losing, even though he thought he won, it would just be you take the hit on the attendance to be able to capsulize that moment. That moment is way bigger than some ticket sales for that event. You could get those tickets down the road.
But Madison Square Garden is the most expensive ticket, so they'll make their money back.
And, that's what I was saying, yeah. But I just think that moment would be so perfect that who cares about whatever perceived gate you're missing out of it? The moment in the venue is priceless. So you do that. But we'll see how they handle it. We'll see.
I agree with that. I don't think it should be at WrestleMania just because WrestleMania is going to be 4 hours each night, probably 4.5 hours each night. There's going to be a match on that card that's better than what their match could be. So they're already going to steal the show, and the fans are going to be tired. It's like the WrestleMania that the women main evented. It was a 7.5 hour show. By the time Becky Lynch won the title, the fans couldn't care less. They were sitting in the seats for 7 hours.
So what about the go home show then, Trevor? Would you be okay with Cody Rhodes winning the title at the go home show?
I would love it, man, because it's different. You don't expect it. You don't expect it. And don't even announce it. Just come out. Cody come out and be like, hey, man, I'm tired of this. I want the title and call Roman's bluff.
Okay.
I mean,
and to the whole Madison Square Garden thing, I mean, WrestleMania is in Philadelphia, so they'll be in the Northeast. I wouldn't be surprised that they'll have a Raw SmackDown at Madison Square Garden. But hell, it might be the go home show, Madison Square Garden.
Well, that would be great. Right, that would be great. If they did that, that would actually make sense. But I like the idea. I mean, if Roman Reigns is within striking distance of passing Hulk Hogan and anybody else, just do it.
You gotta wait
at this point.
You gotta wait till September. You gotta wait till September.
Then do it. And then settle up with Cody towards Survivor Series time. I mean, just do it. Why not?
Man, I
There you
listen
go.
to you every week say he's the worst defending champion.
He
His
is.
matches are terrible. Now you want the
Yes.
man to hold the belt for an additional 6 months?
You already done this. You've already put in the years. So finish that thing. Let his name get there. Let it be there. It's a thing that nobody in this modern era has experienced. So just let it happen. That in itself, it's like you're getting two major things happening. You're getting the Roman literally reign that he has, and then you're getting the rise of Cody. And those are two big events that are just going to keep making business explode. Why would you not want that to happen? That makes no sense. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, they don't drop the ball on this.
MD, I did want to. I forgot about this, and I'm glad Nerabon brought this up. During the NXT show, they ran a promo where they shown some Japanese faces. What do you think that means?
I mean, I don't know. Like I see the whole thing with Okada. Maybe they got some. I'm not gonna say it's with New Japan because it won't be. But it could be some other promotion. I don't know. Or it could be Okada bringing a state. I don't know. But all signs lead to Okada coming to WWE at this point. All signs lead to it.
Here we are looking for an opponent for Ilya Dragunov at Stand and Deliver. Who would be better?
That would be a great match.
Dragunov versus Okada. And I ain't even saying I'm an Okada fan. I'm just saying for the name, like if you want to just put the nail in somebody's coffin, you give WWE fans that match. Because Ilya Dragunov is like top 5 right now in the entire world. That guy is untouchable. I put him in the ring with anybody. I'd love to see him and Gunther go at it again.
Yeah, you talking about match of the year candidate. Ilya and Okada would do it.
Yeah, I mean, because they played the vignette twice, and at first I just brushed it off like, oh man, I don't know. But then I was like, oh, what is this talking about? This Japanese, what's going on here? Because WWE, they ain't real subtle. They'll just throw those things out there just for you to try to catch them. So I'm like, damn, what is that?
They played the thing where it was like it was saying there's 3 types of faces and I didn't know what the hell. I was like, what's going on? All signs lead to Okada coming to WWE. I mean, it is what it is.
So yeah, I mean, so you got to stare down. Hey, I'm gonna say, regardless of what I think, to be 50 years old and look like that, man, my goodness, that's crazy. So in keeping
the wonders of steroids.
In keeping in vein of The Rock, here go another ridiculous story. The Rock's daughter, Ava, deactivates Twitter after death threats over WWE WrestleMania booking. So this comes from SE Scoops because, again, I denounced Miami Dolphin fans a couple of weeks ago. I am not a Dolphins fan. I'm a fan of the Miami Dolphin football team. That's a very big difference. I'm almost starting to say now I'm not a wrestling fan anymore just because wrestling fans are ridiculous. And this story proves that. So this comes from SE Scoops. Fans cause Ava to leave Twitter. The Rock is not the most loved WWE superstar around right now. His presence in the WrestleMania main event is actually unwelcome by a lot of fans, just the ones on Twitter, as they wanted Cody to finish his story. Sadly, his daughter is taking fire due to this. Death threats against The Rock's daughter. Ava is a 4th-generation superstar in NXT, where she is currently the general manager for the brand. This appointment came after the Schism faction breakup caused the need to find a new place for her. So this is from Ava. Can't y'all just leave me out of this FF wait, what does FFS mean? And I looked it up. Can't y'all just leave me out of this FFS? I'm busy running a show. The Rock's daughter also let fans know that
it's for F's sake.
Okay. The Rock's daughter also let fans know that some are taking this way too far. She said, death threats over a situation I have nothing to do with. BFFR. So B for real. I think that I looked them both up and I forgot it.
I think her dumbass needs to just spell out words. I don't know what the hell. The retardation level is like super high. God damn.
It's BFing for real. Well, you know, she got a big set of teeth on you, so she
Oh,
gives you like F
Lord.
words
Hey, man,
real good. You know what I mean?
Good.
She can't even
night.
close her mouth. She's beautiful.
Oh.
She's a beautiful young lady, but
My
she got to
Man, this
set her choppers
generation be
on.
killing the hell out of me with this bull crap. This is the laziest crap I've ever seen before in my life. They can't even spell out words.
Hey, it's
Everything
funny
is
'cause-
abbreviated. My God.
It's funny because like I'll do stuff with my daughter. My daughter asks me something, and I like she just say she asked me some water, and I give it to her. She'll be like TY. Instead of saying thank you, she's like TY. I said, hey, we say complete words over here. Don't come with all this abbreviation. It's just kids today. So it goes on to say Ava leaves Twitter. The Rock's daughter logged on to Twitter X yesterday to explain her situation. She has nothing to do with her father's booking at WrestleMania, but fans were still giving her a hard time. She even received death threats due to this. So I mean, she deactivated her account. Hey, listen, the online harassing and stuff like that, I get it. Trust me, I know. But
no, she shouldn't have deactivated her account.
Just look at this. Look at this tweet.
Well, this person's a loser.
But think about this though. Just think about it. Think about what they're saying. Because The Rock took Cody Rhodes' place. Now you're hoping The Rock gets off, and you hope Roman Reigns' leukemia comes back. And then they
check out that cool 45 views though.
Yeah, but hey, but that's like, I mean,
yeah, that's ridiculous, man. These people, that troll is too easy. You know, trolling is too easy to describe it. It's just real pathetic people, man. Just pathetic.
So it's just like the loser that trolls me. You know, I invite him to come on the channel, but the only caveat, he has to show his face, and they won't show their face because once they show their face, then the gig is up. And that's what it is. But the fact that over something like wrestling, I see if it was something, I'd even give you a mulligan if it was political.
The internet has made the cowards brave.
Well,
yeah, I wouldn't give no mulligan.
Well, MD, I'm just trying to say, like, you know, maybe you get emotional and you just like, oh man, I want to just off this person because he made a bad political decision. This is over wrestling that has been scripted, that once the matches are over, these guys going to go back in the back and shake hands.
Well, clearly you haven't seen DC and Marvel fans go at it, which is even worse. That's comic books.
You got, I mean, this is the insanity, man. Is bro? I can't even I just can't. So move it on, no, because we're almost y'all remember this famous scene right here, and the only reason I bring this scene up is because a story that broke. Hey, when it rains, it pours. And this comes from inside the ropes. Shawn Michaels dismisses allegations against him as wrestling stories. So, in the wake of recent allegations against Vince McMahon, NXT head Shawn Michaels was asked about Brutus Beefcake's claims about drugging women. In the wake of Janelle Grant's horrifying lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE, discussions of corrupt corporate culture and systematic mistreatment of women are at the forefront when it comes to the sports entertainment giant right now. On the infamous Plane Ride from Hell episode of Dark Side of the Ring, Brutus Beefcake made the claim that he, Marty Jannetty, and Shawn Michaels used to drug women before sleeping with them. And also they would throw women into the hallway when they were done with them. Jannetty.
Wait a minute. Brutus the Barber Beefcake was on the Plane Ride from Hell?
No, what? No,
how could he be on that?
No, it was on this episode, and he was talking about it.
Okay.
Jannetty has also spoken about partying with Michaels in the past, admitting they did things they probably shouldn't have done. Okay, so what brought this up was because they did the NXT press conference. So during the NXT Vengeance Media Day call, Michaels was asked about these claims by Nick Hausman of House of Wrestling. And he stated without hesitation that despite plenty of misdeeds in his past, these accusations are false. I'll say this. I've never shied away from the stupid stuff I did in the past. If you go back and ask Brutus Beefcake, he'll tell you. Never seen any of that actually happen. Again, wrestling stories. He also retracted that after saying it. So simply not true. Shawn Michaels on Brutus Beefcake's claims. Continuing, Shawn Michaels made it clear that he wasn't denying the fact that he slept with numerous women during his WWE career. The difference is, he says, is that all of his encounters were consensual, and he neither dislikes women nor has power issues. I can say this coming from Shawn. I've had a lot of struggles in my life, and I don't know how to say this without sounding shameful, but being with a lady was not something Shawn Michaels had a difficult time doing. I've never been in a situation where it was not consensual in any way, shape, or form. I've never taken advantage of someone in that respect. Those things are done for two reasons, and I've had a lot of counseling in my lifetime. The reason you do stuff is because you dislike women or you have power issues. Shawn Michaels did not have those. He has insecurity issues, and he has problems feeling like he wasn't enough. That's why you go to drugs and downers. The other stuff is to build on power and disrespecting women, which is something I've never done. Any accusations against me as far as non-consensual time with women simply aren't true. That's why they never come up in anything other than, and I don't mean to be mean to you guys, but it's time to come up in any other thing than wrestling stories. Back in the day, it was dirt sheets, and those things start from guys spinning a lot of stories that weren't true. So Shawn Michaels is completely denying it. And again, I ain't here to pass no judgment either way. I'm just, it came up and I thought it was interesting, especially in light of.
I saw the video. I saw him answering the videos. I'm gonna have to take him at his word.
Yeah.
And I like the way. Yeah, I like the way he just saying, "Hey, look, I don't shy away from things. I admit I've done some wild stuff, but I didn't do that stuff." So I'm good with that. I like that answer. Unlike Triple H's answer at the Royal Rumble with the whole Vince McMahon stuff, but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, that was bad.
I can respect Shawn Michaels for what he said there, but I did see the video. I mean, he tried to explain. I didn't agree with a lot of things he was saying, but he tried to explain it and blah blah blah.
Why bring it up though? Why bring it up?
Because it's the atmosphere we're in right now. I mean, I get it. I understand it. I mean, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah,
people being exploited. No, I'm sorry, but people being exploited. Women, minorities, Asians. I mean, all these different demographics throughout all this time has been exploited in the wrestling business. So now is like the moment where people are like, they want answers for it.
Yeah, and we already know about Shawn Michaels' miscues as far as backstage with politics. Now he did say one thing that I disagree with, talking about power. He did have a power problem. It just wasn't that type of power problem. You know what I mean? So I mean, we know about his miscues and the stuff with Sonny and Chris Candido. He's owned up to all of that. So I can at least commend him on that. But this ain't the last we've heard, unfortunately, and I hope it doesn't come out to be true, because we need him in NXT, just like we need Triple H in WWE.
MD, I got my fingers crossed so much. And we about to get into the Vince McMahon stuff, but I got my fingers just crossed because these lawyers are saying that they are going to go through that company and tear it upside down. I'm hoping that Triple H and Shawn Michaels come out of this unscathed. Just the fandom in me, and to see, this is the type of stuff I want to. We talked about doing though, is the more topical stuff, because I'd love. MD brought up the Shawn Michaels, Sonny, and Chris Candido stuff. I'd like to go in the weeds and discuss that, because a lot of these younger wrestling fans don't know what the hell we're talking about. Shawn Michaels literally nailing this man's woman while he, and then going out wrestling with him like it was no problem. Like just being underhanded and disgusting. And now Sonny's in jail basically for 20 plus years. So
well, Sonny's trash to begin with. So
yeah.
She was trash then.
Exactly.
Pretty much, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
He was just in love at it. You know, like, it's unfortunate. But yeah, she was trash.
But then when Man Talk Monday tell you don't marry the hoe and stuff like that, then everybody tell us we wrong. You know what I mean?
Boy, Sonny aged bad as well. These white people.
Oh my God!
White people in general. White people in general just age bad. I mean, God, that's rough. That's a rough life. My God.
Sonny went from being what they used to call her the most desirable woman to now like you're like, whoa, man, like oof. And she's still young.
This ain't the last we heard of this particular story or any other story that may get uncovered with a myriad of different people through WWE.
All right, so
I just hope. Yeah, go ahead.
No, let's get into the other stories because hey, one thing about people when they face with trouble, they gonna start singing like a canary. So here we go, Mr. People Power himself. Co-defendant. This comes from Vice. This is a story from John Laurinaitis' attorney that he told Vice News. Co-defendant in Vince McMahon's sex trafficking lawsuit says he was a victim too. Man,
I mean, look at the guy's face. Come on, man. That's Jesus we're looking at here.
Let me
come on.
Let me read this and then we're gonna dissect this. But I don't trust the guy that used to be the dynamic dude. And I'm just gonna say that this guy used to ride his skateboards to the rings. I don't trust this guy. So let's get into this story with that mullet. The truth will come out, John Laurinaitis' attorney told Vice News. A lawyer for John Laurinaitis, a co-defendant in an explosive civil sex trafficking lawsuit brought last week against the WWE founder Vince McMahon and WWE itself, appeared to corroborate central claims in the suit in a statement to Vice News today. While disputing Laurinaitis' role as described in the complaint, Edward Brennan, the lawyer, said that his client is himself a victim. Just like plaintiff Janelle Grant, a former WWE employee, the truth will come out, Brennan said. So wait a minute. All right. So in the suit brought last week in federal court in Connecticut, Grant says that McMahon and Laurinaitis sexually assaulted her in WWE's corporate offices. It goes on to say McMahon, according to the suit, went so far as to schedule appointments for her to sexually service Laurinaitis. Earlier today, Vice News reached out to Brennan, an attorney in the Tampa area, to confirm that he represents Laurinaitis. He did so, adding, as an aside, Mr. Laurinaitis denies the allegations in the misguided complaint and will be vigorously defending these charges in court, not the media. Like the plaintiff, Mr. Laurinaitis is a victim in this case, not the predator. The truth will come out. In a response to the follow-up questions seeking to clarify that he was indeed saying that McMahon was a predator and that Laurinaitis, like Grant, was a victim, Brennan wrote, read the allegations, read the federal statute, power, control, employment, supervisory capacity, dictatorial sexual demands with repercussions if not met. Count how many times in the complaint Vince exerts control over both of them. So yeah. And it goes on to say TKO didn't immediately respond to the request for comments on Brennan's statement. So yeah, well, what do you guys think about that? Laurinaitis is now saying that he too was a victim. So Vince McMahon grabbed his schlong and made him smash old girl. Like, no, Vince, I'm just as big as you. I could defend myself in a fight against you. No, Vince, I don't want to do this to this girl, but you're the big bad Vince McMahon. You're gonna make me do whatever. Come on, man. I don't buy this worth a damn. This is somebody trying to cover their ass. That's all that is.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but you know, if I'm gonna play devil's advocate, like from a legal standpoint, he can make that argument. based on the wording of how it's written, that's what the lawyer explained. Hey, let me. Is Laurinaitis still with the Bella mom? Is he still married to
Yeah,
her?
and she has some medical situations going on right now.
This shit, cancer or
Yeah,
something?
some type of cancer. I didn't know for sure. That's why I didn't want to say, but I think I did hear cancer.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
wow.
that makes him even lower.
Yeah,
I mean, my God.
low down. Yeah,
So
man. Yeah,
Venkat,
he coerced
you
into having forceful alleged relations with with this woman, I guess.
you believe this, Venkat? You buying this?
That Laurinaitis is saying he's a victim?
Yeah.
Oh, no. The hell no. Everybody buying this. It's not even for sale. The store shut down on that one, man. Yeah, he don't have a chance. I mean, it's comical. I mean, Laurinaitis is a big, tall ass guy. He can do whatever the hell he want to do. I mean, it's not like I don't see him being intimidated by Vince McMahon. There's no way in hell. And what the hell is intimidation? Oh, you better go with her and do this and blah, blah. Come on, man. The argument is so ridiculous.
Hey,
It's just ridiculous.
in the document that was read last week, wasn't it Laurinaitis that allegedly said yes means no, or was that somebody else?
Both of them.
They were saying both of them were
Yeah, both
doing
of
it.
them were saying it.
Oh well, yeah.
But he's innocent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
we'll
we'll find out.
him right on that. They could get him right on that.
Yeah.
So I did see a story. I literally saw it when I hit go live, so I didn't get a chance. But they're saying that like a lot of women are now flooding this lawyer's office, saying that they're ready to make complaints. So it is like literally it's going to be the when it rains it pours thing. But one name that I specifically saw is they're saying that the company knew that Ashley Massaro was graped on a tribute to the Troops tour. Now, I vaguely heard about that, so I didn't know the details of it. And like I said, when I hit go live, I saw it pop up, so I didn't have time to pull it up or anything. But Ashley Massaro, we know is not with us anymore. But you got people that's willing to vouch for that they know that she was assaulted, and I had always heard rumors about that.
Well, all I know is that I got to reevaluate my love and affinity for grapes because I don't know about eating grapes anymore.
So you can't be associated with the fruit anymore, huh?
No, it's a hard thing for me to deal with right now.
Yeah. I saw the whole thing with Paul London, and you know what came out last week. You know, all we could take it off of face value of what he was saying, but if she's implicated further in any other documents that get puts out, I mean, that's confirmation of what he said. You know what I mean?
You talking about Massaro?
Yeah,
but she's been gone for a while though.
Yeah, but you know, it was a story that I saw that Paul London was talking to some. I'm assuming Paul London used to be in a relationship with her, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And and Paul London was coming out and saying that initially.
Yep, I saw a video of him talking about it.
Yeah. So if it comes out in a proceeding, that confirms what he said.
Hey, there's a website that just has a long litany list of Vince McMahon activity. Some of this stuff like recent, like 2015, 18, 19. It's like it's just moment after moment. And like WWE just either has to pay it off or deal with it on the side. It was like I didn't even know some of these interactions or offenses that Vince McMahon he just like just grabbed the person that was like I don't know if it's like at an airport or something. Like it's just weird. Like he has so many like incidents, like little incidents here and there. It's amazing, like the amount of frequency that had happened. I didn't even know about those moments.
So I just pulled it up, and this comes from Vice News. Despite denials, this is a headline. Despite denials, WWE management new wrestler said she had been raped on military base. The late wrestler Ashley Massaro said WWE management was aware of it and covered up her claim to have been raped in Kuwait. WWE denied it. Now a former top executive says he knew. So Vince McMahon stands accused. Who's the top executive? That's what I want to see. It might be it might be Laurinaitis.
Yeah, he's snitching already. So
he's singing like a canary. I'm trying to get to where, so they said Paul London, a former WWE wrestler who dated Massaro when they both were at the company, has also since said that Massaro herself was a victim of McMahon. So Paul London saying Massaro was a victim of McMahon's sexual misconduct.
Yes, they've been said that. That's the main thing he was talking about.
Yeah,
that's the big thing. He's still pissed off to this day.
So this comes from oh man, so I'm not surprised by any of what London says. So this is from the lawyer. Are you a current or former female WWE wrestler with a story to tell, or wondering if there's a point of speaking out? Contact reporters covering sex trafficking at 10. Okay, so this is just them trying to get an interview, some radio station trying to get an interview. But yeah, man, this thing is about to be just insane. And speaking of the devil himself, this story came out, man. I really thought this day was just going to be a breeze and we was going to be able to reset, but this story comes out from the Wrestling Observer. Vince McMahon reportedly drafted and signed NDAs without WWE's knowledge. So now
that ain't no surprise to me.
But listen, now they're going to come out and tell you what's the importance of that. So the NDAs that were signed may not actually be enforceable because
of course.
So
of course. This is the stupidity of the whole thing. Like, it's just ridiculous.
So the NDAs that several women signed with Vince McMahon were reportedly created in secret and entered into without WWE's knowledge, with McMahon even going as far as to sign them on the company's behalf. Man, this Vice News, I guess I gotta start checking out. I know Vice TV.
Vice does great work, man. I like Vice.
I know them for their documentaries. I love their documentaries. Yeah. I didn't know they did stuff like this.
But Vince McMahon has an issue from childhood, man. He never addressed his issues, and he had the money and the means to do it, and he just seemed to just be running amok. He has real issues, but what if? I mean, when you have a problem and you don't address your problem, and you got the money and the means of doing it, like that means you down for whatever you're doing. And a lot of people was like, he didn't start doing it. I'm sorry, he didn't start doing this stuff at 75 or 60. There's been a constant throughout his whole life. It's not a new thing.
Yeah. So I actually saw that. The guy, the lawyer guy, Stephen P. New, he was talking about it, and he said, actually, this can lead to a criminal offense because he signed those NDAs under the company and not individually as Vince McMahon.
Yes.
So that's essentially forgery, is what that is. You forged the document to the company and not yourself on behalf of the company.
And by the way, he's paying women with money from WWE, which he's not supposed to do that. And then when the federal government investigate him, because again, they raided his ass, they investigate him. Oh, he's like, I'm paying it back. Like, you've already broken the law right there. You can't just go like, we're going to reset. I'm going to go pay it off now. Like, this is crazy. Like, Mr. Man is like in huge problems right now.
But here's the crazy thing, though. It's not like he don't have the money in his personal account, though. Like, why take it from the company, though? Like, why break the law in that aspect? So you breaking the law already, but why further? Now you bring in like theft and forgery and all that stuff.
And it just has to be an egomaniac thing. It's just he just feels like he could just. There's no rules for him. Rules are for the other people.
Man. So this says this report comes from a person familiar with the situation via Vice's Tim Markham, who added that details is the detail is the reason WWE had to issue revised earnings statements following the summer of 2022 scandal that erupted when McMahon's hush money payments to women he allegedly has sexual affairs with became public. In talking with several legal experts, Markham reports the terms in the aforementioned NDAs are likely unenforceable. In Janelle Grant's case, the fact McMahon paid $1 million of the $3 million agreed to likely make any deal null and void. So this is a quote from the lawyer. An NDA cannot be used as a shield to prevent a victim from bringing criminal charges or speaking to investigators.
Right.
If these women or others desire to speak out in the public or bring civil suits, though, it is not clear that an agreement like the one Grant signed would prevent that. So a day after his lawyer said his client was a victim like Grant under McMahon's control, Laurinaitis' lawyer Edward Brennan told Vice they will go where the evidence leads when it comes to whether other company executives were aware and involved in Grant is alleged happened during her 3-year tenure at WWE. There is then the revelation that McMahon signed the secret agreement on the company's behalf without their knowledge after getting counsel from longtime lawyer Jerry McDivitt, who recently resigned, I think. According to a source familiar with the matter, though the contract was in fact executed with McMahon secretly signing on both his behalf and that of WWE after seeking counsel from his longtime attorney, Jerry McDivitt, a seeming conflict of interest Goldberg calls bizarre. So Goldberg is lawyer Kerry Goldberg, who represented victims of Harvey Weinstein and was interviewed for the article. She also noted that the copy Grant filed in the lawsuit wasn't signed by McMahon in either his personal capacity or role as then chair of WWE, as normally all parties will receive an executed copy of the contract. So hey, shithole just continues to go deeper and deeper. I don't know. So let's move on to the next one, then we can get in this week in wrestling history, and we're gonna be out of here. Right now, Adam Page is taking on Swerve. They've been going on way too long. I think the winner gets Samoa Joe, so maybe that's why they're going on so long. And look for that dope Tony Khan to make the announcement that they signed Mercedes. That's probably what his major announcement is going to be for the night. This is real quick. This comes from Wrestling Inc. Most of Brock Lesnar's merchandise discounted on WWE shops. They're basically normally when they do
90% off.
Yeah, normally when they do that, that means that they're wiping it clean. So Brock Lesnar's merchandise is now discounted on WWE shop after the former UFC and WWE heavy champion was alluded to in a civil lawsuit with Vince McMahon.
So he's gonna get a race too, you think, Trevor?
Yeah, they
won't be able to find
they gonna they taking him out the video game that's about to get ready to drop too.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming down later to that. So he was on the roster looking to sign a new contract for the time. So follow the allusions to Lesnar in the suit. He was pulled from the Royal Rumble on January 27th. Lesnar's merchandise page on WWE shop shows everything on sale with a code outside of a plush toy, socks, t-shirts, replica shorts, and even a Funko Pop set that includes the Undertaker. Those Funko Pop sets are expensive. I just got one with Vader and Undertaker. So I'll have that up for the next Wrestling with Reality show next week, but I did get it. Modeled after their match in WrestleMania 30. Currently, the lowest priced item are key rings and lanyards. Lesnar was also removed from the WWE 2K Supercard mobile game on Thursday. According to PW Insider, he will be downplayed or even removed, potentially from WWE licensed content moving forward. That may include the WWE 2K24, which is set to be released about a month before WrestleMania 40 on March 8th. Lesnar has also reportedly been moved from all WWE creative plans, including WrestleMania. Plans for Lesnar to face Gunther has also been scrapped. You think?
They went all in with this already. I mean, we haven't heard a word from Brock Lesnar yet.
Well, no, we have, though. There was a story today. I don't know how true it is, but they said that they got in contact with Lesnar and he said he's just going to be on his farm. That guy don't care, man. That guy got money.
Yeah. I was about to say, he don't give a
he don't give a shit.
Care.
So my question is, this is my question. Two-part question. Are you ever gonna see him again? And will Tony Khan be stupid enough to bring him in?
Oh, well, yes, he will do it because look what he's doing with Jericho. He's putting Jericho front and center. I mean, he's definitely going to do it. That's a classic Tony Khan move right there. So, yeah.
So, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, so that's that. Now it's time to get into this week in wrestling history, and we out of here. Again, if you guys haven't seen Tapest Politics from last night, make sure and check that out, man. That was a fantastic. That was one of my favorites. I listened back to it today. It was a 4-hour show, but it was fantastic. I listened to it.
That was a great idea from MD. MD came up with the concept there, the idea to do that. It paid out dividends on that show, man. It was really nice.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
show.
Even though we went WrestleMania Broadway, but hey, I'm not even gonna tell y'all this stupid spot that just happened in this match, but he put Hangman on the table, and the table just collapsed. It didn't, so nobody didn't have to jump on it or anything. Like the table just literally just collapsed. So now Swerve is getting another table to set up. I mean, they got to stop with all this. But anyway, this day in wrestling history is this is a fun one. Because I remember this like it was yesterday. So on this day in pro wrestling history, on February 7th, 1988. Let's go back to 1988. The World Wrestling Federation held an untelevised house show at the San Diego Sports Arena in San Diego, California. The live event included matches on the road to the WrestleMania 4 pay-per-view. The $1 Million Man was announced as the WWF Heavyweight Champion, and here he was also wearing the belt. Now Bruce Pritchard on his show, God, I wonder how long is Bruce going to still be there with the company, and what's his capacity now? But Bruce Pritchard, he said that $1 Million Man heard Vince say that we might make you the champion, not saying that he wanted to make him the champion. Why wouldn't you make the $1 Million Man the champion? Back then, WWF was a face company, so if you put the belt on a heel, it was just a transition to the next face. So why would you announce him as the heavyweight champion at the house show, but then on TV take the belt from him? And this is coming off of the double ref, the Twin Magic. How much did they pay for the plastic surgery, brother? This was still the most watched wrestling thing. This was the most watched wrestling match in history on regular TV. Was the rematch with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, where they did the double referees. And then after the match, Andre the Giant gave the belt to Ted DiBiase.
So Trevor, do you count that as Andre winning the title? Do you count Andre being the champion?
8-year-old me did.
I don't know what to think about it, because some people are recognizing Andre as champion.
He's not champion. Well, no, you have to recognize him, because Roman Reigns held the belt for 16 seconds before Sheamus came out and cashed in on him. They still recognize that championship. So we have to.
I guess you have to then.
But here's a suggestion. Why not just leave the belt on $1 Million Man?
Well, I mean that's like Christian. He ain't winning nothing. I mean, we're just giving belts to guys now. I'd rather recognize Andre, but this guy's Andre the Giant. He should have at least one title reign.
Wait a minute, you didn't like $1 Million Man?
No, I'm not saying I don't like $1 Million Man, but come on, man, he didn't win that title. He didn't do any work. He didn't put it in. All he did was get the referees.
Did Andre do any work? But
he lumbered his old big bloated ass over there and did something.
So this goes on to say So Ted DiBiase worked 3 house shows as a WWF champion. See,
Wow.
there's
I've never known
record.
that.
There's record that he was the champion on 3 house
Wow.
shows in the winter of 1988 before his championship reign was stripped. He had a match with Andre the Giant against Hulk Hogan and Bam Bam Bigelow. With the WWF World Heavyweight Championship being vacated, it led to the tournament to crown a new champion at WrestleMania 4, which Macho Man won. Which that WrestleMania is one of my favorite. I know it got panned because Clash of the Champions destroyed it that night. So here's Ted DiBiase actually getting the belt with the evil referee with the plastic surgery. But again, man, you couldn't have told me that wasn't real growing up. But so this goes on to say, so this is, I think this is from Ted DiBiase. So he did an interview with Bill Apter. So he says it was discussed that I would somehow underhandedly end up in the last match at WrestleMania 4 with Hogan and screw him to win the title. He ended up in the last match, but it was against Macho Man. So DiBiase explained in an interview with Bill Apter, I think people expected that. After beating Andre, Hogan was the man and the champ WWE primarily wanted because they were catering to the kids at that point. After all, it's a family entertainment. You want your champion to be the good guy as much as possible. But there was a thought of having me screw Hogan and then have a run with him. He continued, usually a heel champion in the WWE back then anyway was somebody who was transitional. He either gets the belt, drops it to the new babyface champion, or drops it back to the guy he beat. It was Pat Patterson who approached me and he said, Ted, here's what we've been thinking. He ran all those things by me, which I knew, which was a standard deal. But as things often do in the world of sports entertainment, plans change. And this remains one of wrestling's greatest what ifs. To this day, the WWE does not recognize DiBiase's reign as champion, despite they looking crazy because Hangman lost. Oh no, he didn't lose. All right. To this day, WWE does not recognize DiBiase's reign as champion, despite Andre the Giant still being recognized as having the shortest reign in history. So to Venkat's point, they do recognize Andre. However, that hasn't stopped the $1 Million Man from trying to change this. I did not know. In 2021, Ted DiBiase started a petition on his website to make his WWF Championship title reign officially recognized by the company.
Wow.
The petition the petition states in February of 88, Ted enlisted the services of the legendary Andre the Giant to assist with capturing the WWF Championship. Andre was successful in pinning Hulk Hogan at the Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana. WWE has decided not to recognize this title reign in the history books, even though Ted defended the championship at live shows against Bam Bam Bigelow. For the record books, one of his matches as champ was in a tag. So if they're gonna have the guy defend the title on the house show, which I know things you did on the house show was to test the TV, they should recognize the guy as champion. So I'm saying today, oh wow, this is February 8th. Okay, so we're just like 25 years, 35 years. I'm recognizing Ted DiBiase as former WWF champion, because if he defended the belt 3 times, I mean, why couldn't he be champion? Even in the UFC, they do interim titles.
Wow. I guess you're right. I guess you're right.
Ted DiBiase got other things to worry about than a petition. He a crook and stole.
Yeah, you gotta try to avoid going to jail.
Yeah.
So Venkat, you knew about you knew about that they were going to do a program with Jake the Snake and Hulk Hogan, but when Jake the Snake DDT'd him, the fans reacted too positive.
Yeah.
And Vince scrapped it.
All right, which is silly. I thought that would have been a great match. That would have been great. Yeah. That was a bad move. Jake the Snake was hot back then, man. That would have been great. I would have loved to see it. I would have loved to see Dusty against Hogan in '89. That would have been great.
Who would have been the bad guy?
You don't have. That's the problem with wrestling. There doesn't need to be a bad guy.
You weren't doing that back in the 80s.
Oh, come on now. WrestleMania 6 is 1990. So you could have had that be SummerSlam 90. Hogan against Dusty Rhodes. The dream match of all dream matches, man.
That would have been great, though. That would have been.
I mean, they're both American heroes. They could have promoted the hell out of that.
That would have been fantastic.
They could have promoted the hell out of that. The NWA versus WWF. Of course, Dusty would have lost because they would have had to make an example out of him, but it would have been great.
You mean like him beating superstar Billy Graham and then them taking the belt?
Exactly.
Hence why I can't hear his damn son stop talking about finishing the story. and now they got Dustin on board, because now Dustin like, man, those roads always getting screwed. Like, he just, hey, I get it, man. I get it. You want to be the champion. I get it. But man,
hey, you know, another thing that Bubba Ray said on that Busted Open podcast, he was saying that, like, by having that match, which I think, to be honest, you could even take it further. You could even forget Roman, like have Rock beat Roman at some point, and then have Cody against The Rock, and Cody goes over on The Rock in Madison Square Garden. You still got the Samoan lineage there, and that's actually the bigger, better match. But he was saying that in Madison Square Garden, they should have like every Samoan ever in the audience, and even have Dustin in the audience, and just have like, it's like family versus family, and even have the Samoans going for Cody at some point. But it would be interesting to see that. It would be real interesting to see that. But will they do it? We don't know.
MD, have you heard rumors about Jacob Fatu coming over? The Samoan, what do they call him? The Samoan werewolf or Samoan nightmare?
I mean,
the guy from MLW.
Yeah, MLW. Yeah, I know his contract coming up. WWE will be fools not to sign him. They will be fools not. If he wants to go, if he chooses to go. But yeah, I mean, it make all the sense in the world.
Shouldn't they have just made that move already? Shouldn't that move have already been in play?
I think at the time, Vince, it was a Vince thing. Vince didn't.
Oh, yeah. All these moments that let us down always has to involve with Vince McMahon. I'm just.
All right, so yeah, that's it, man. 2.5 hours, bomb, perfect timing. So, like I said earlier, we're gonna get. I didn't even do the ratings this week, which ratings are my favorite thing, but I didn't have a chance to do it just with everything going on. So we'll bring the ratings back next week, but we're gonna go into more topical shows versus just going through the weekly wrestling. There is a pay-per-view coming up February 24th, which is the Elimination Chamber. And I'll be at the damn Monster Truck thing. Oh man.
Well, you keep dodging these events, Trevor.
No, man.
If it ain't NXT, Trevor ain't watching it.
Man, that was weird though. That NXT was on a Sunday.
I didn't even know they were having an event. I went to sleep.
It was great, man. Go back and at least go back and watch the main event and the women's match. If you can't watch anything else, watch those two. Those were fantastic.
Oof.
I gave my first 5-star for the year. That main event was tremendous.
So I'm gonna have to check it out then.
Yeah, listen, man. Trick Williams, hey, strap the rocket to him. Hey, you don't have to worry about Vince anymore having them come to the main roster and having to give him a dancing gimmick. So hey, strap the rocket to that guy. That he's the answer. He's Triple H's new Velveteen Dream. Triple H Velveteen Dream couldn't get over his issues, but you got.
Have you seen Velveteen Dream talking about asking for forgiveness and apologizing. He apologized to like to Shawn Michaels and Triple H and the fans, and he's like he doesn't really want to come back. It's more about just like acknowledging what he's did was wrong and whatnot. I thought that was pretty stand up of him.
I didn't see it. Where you saw that?
He did an interview with
YouTube.
Chris Van Vliet too. He did an interview with Chris Van Vliet recently, like within the last 2 weeks, and he got like documents and text message transcripts and all type of stuff. Like he staking his case, that's for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty grown up way to handle what happened.
He's still denying it. He's definitely still denying it, but he did apologize.
Yeah.
Hey, so we'll see where that guy. Hey, that guy, he'll go down as. That's what we should probably do. Man, we got to compile a list. That's what we need to do. Let's compile a list of the biggest what ifs in wrestling, because he got to be up there for me.
Yeah,
like he got to be, man. The waste.
He was so over.
Man, that guy was just, man, and he could wrestle. That was the thing too. He'll steal your gimmick, but he could wrestle. Like, man, and I'm just thinking of the matches with him and Tommaso Ciampa, him and Aleister Black. Just the guy could wrestle
with the Rick Rude pants on.
Yeah,
he just couldn't stay off social media trying to get in people's DMs. What the hell is up with that, man? It's just ridiculous, man. Like you sacrifice all that hard work to act a fool and do stupid stuff. Like,
hey, listen. This
self-sabotage.
Hey, this is so funny. This is so funny. Y'all remember I just looked down at my phone. Now, remember I told y'all about the trolls, and I said I could bet you anything he's listening right now, and he can't help himself but to respond. So he sends me a message. There you go, defending the rapist. Shake him SMG, whatever that means. Might be some new.
Who's defending what rapist?
Yeah.
What rapist?
Might be some new butt boy call that he does. He says so. You may as well defend the Catholic Church. Good grief! You must not be a true wrestling fan. Everyone knew Shawn Michaels was banging Sonny. Sonny is the murderer. She should go to hell too. And again, I know exactly who this is. That's why I'm still just playing along with it, because I know exactly who it is, and everybody knows who it is if you listen to this channel for any length of time, because there's only one maniac that is so ultra Bible but so wrestling. I hate wrestling, but I could tell you everything about wrestling, so everybody knows who it is. But until he comes on this panel and shows his face, you got to come show your face. Be a man. Be a man. Be a man. Just be a man. Show your face. Show your face.
Man, you ought to dedicate a show just for him on Thursday, man. Just dedicate the show to him. And
see, what I was gonna do is just do a show and just show every single message that he sent me from like the 50 different numbers that he does, because I know exactly who it is, because I have them all plus all the emails. And I was gonna do that, but I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Never mind. Because the problem with trolls is if they don't show their faces, like is pointless. Is really pointless. Like, I like to go back, I'll go back and forth with him just because I know who it is, and he knows that I know who it is. Absolutely, I know who you are. But that's the thing. If he won't ever show his face, like, it's just pointless. It's just one of my many admirers.
It just doesn't work for me, brother.
My admirer. He likes to call people. He likes to say that people are homo, but he's the homo. Because I mean, my goodness, I've never
destroying lives.
Never been so obsessed with a man, like, ever. This guy is just insane with this. You need to go get a woman. Go have sex or something.
Turns me on.
Didn't you just get married recently? Do something, man. My goodness.
Well, there you have.
Stop looking at me with your hand in your pants. Like, you just stop being such a weirdo, bro. Like, here goes another black girl. Here go another black girl on AEW about to lose to the blonde. Who they got? Red Velvet about to lose to Tony Storm. But But that's enough with him, man. We did 4 hours last night. We had 2.5 hours tonight. Fantastic show, fellas. Next week, what we doing next week? I have no idea. We'll think of something. But peace to everybody that was in the chat earlier. Shout out to the new person that joined the channel. The person that just joined the channel is like the most random person to join the channel that you would never think would join the channel, but that just goes to show that, you know, they appreciate what we got going on over here. Make sure and check out Tate Fist Politics yesterday and next week, because Venkat going to try to do something else to piss everybody else off. Tune in to Man Talk Monday this Monday. Man Talk Monday, we are going to do one story, one thing alone. I already put the show up. We're going to talk about this Gail Kim. Talking about Gail Kim. I'm thinking about wrestling. This Gail King. What's her name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Gail King. Yeah.
Gail King. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to talk about this Gail King comment that she made. The crew is chomping at the bit. So we're going to dedicate a whole show to that. So y'all make sure and tune into that. We're going to do one story on Monday. Probably be the first time ever we just did dedicate the whole show. Chris saying he loved Gail Kim. We're going to dedicate the whole show to one story. So there you go. Thanks to everybody that came through. Hold on, I do want to play this though, especially for my admirer. Tell me, is this true?
I'm gonna tell you something. Facial hair is not apostolic. However you want to cut it, it's compromise. I don't care if your leader says you can wear a beard, honey. Beard's nothing more than pride. You're not going to be dipped in Holy Ghost oil and run around looking like the world.
Fantastic. That is fantastic.
Trevor running around looking like the world.
You're too carnal, Trevor. You're too carnal.
I know I'm way too carnal. Last thing. Oh, speaking of carnal, I got a debate coming up tomorrow, and we got one Saturday. So there you go with that. The straight talk with Trevor's store is open. I'm just waiting to see how to link it to the channel. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got a mug, we got a mouse pad. Hey, support the movement, man. Wear your Straight Talk Society shirt, MD. We have not forgot about the Tate Fist Politics. I do want to start adding, depending on how this store works, I do want to start adding other things in there, like from other shows. I could definitely do a Wrestling with Reality show shirt and a Tate Fist Politics show shirt. Nene made Bones and Zay MMA Brothers shirts. Those came out real fresh, but she made those, she made those here. So that's how it go with that. But besides that, we're done, fellas.
There it is. Great show. See y'all on the next one.
All right. Appreciate it.
Trevor, you on fire.
Yeah. Fire burn.
Your show gonna be the bomb for real.
Hey, I hope so.
All right, Trevor.
All right, peace. Oh my goodness. Well, Straight Talk Saturday, there you have it. Another fantastic episode of Wrestling with Reality. Golly, 41 of these. We did 41 over here. I think we did like 18 or 19 on the other channel. Man, whew. And we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the channel. So, Hey, Chris, we want Cody. Yeah, we want Cody. Hey, wrestling fans, all I say is relax. You're going to get what you want. Just like Daniel Bryan, the whole Daniel Bryan story in 2014, it's going to write itself. You're going to get what you want. So with all that being said, let me get out of here. Peace to everybody that came through tonight. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back here tomorrow night for a debate. That debate will take place at 7 p.m. tomorrow. It has a later start time. Normally they're at 6, but we'll be starting at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. So don't miss out. Be in the building. And if you would like to support the channel, go ahead and join the channel memberships. They're only $1.99. You're helping support the channel. You know, I do spend a lot of money to run this channel. So if you feel like leaving me a tip, hey, it's fine. If not, I'm just glad that you're here. Just please make sure and hit that like button. Until tomorrow night, I leave you with these words. Always seek out the truth for yourself, because if not, you'll fall victim to other people's interpretations of them. Peace.
And the bitch slap.
Now the whole world can acknowledge me.
You'll get the shit. You'll be knee deep in the shit.
I'm gonna take you home.